Hey there, nerds. We're back. It's your boys, Pedro and Seth. We are the Alpha Nerds. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing phenomenal, Pedro. Phenomenal. It's Final Fantasy Rebirth Day. Can't be in a bad mood. I'm doing great.
I could easily be in a bad mood with what happened to you. Why don't you tell the audience what happened to you? What's Square? What Amazon do to you?
um, they put my deluxe edition in an envelope and shipped it instead of putting it in like a box with a like the bubble thing like they normally do.
Yeah,
First, Amazon will ship something this big in a box this
yeah.
big, right, and just waste a fuckload of money. But they put my deluxe edition in an envelope and shipped it out.
What if that's
Sons of
fucked up,
bitches.
man? Yeah, that's fucked
So
up.
like I said, it wasn't bad enough to return or throw a bitch fit about. Just like the one corner was smashed in a little bit, but it's the negligence that annoys me more than anything.
Yeah,
It's like God, but
that
that's all.
hurt.
That's all.
I'm hurting for you, buddy. You told me that I was like, no.
That's what I was saying. I hope they package yours a little better.
Oh, naturally, now I guarantee they won't. I'll fucking mine will be just full of dents, like fucking disc broken. Um, so getting straight into it, how much of Rebirth have you played?
About 5 hours.
All right.
So one thing I wasn't prepared for that last night my whole plan was to start playing the demo at 10 so I could just jump into the full game at midnight. It worked out pretty close to that, but one thing I wasn't prepared for was your save file doesn't transfer over from the demo. Instead, you have to play through a bit of the demo, and then it gives you the option to skip a large part of the demo, and then you still have to play through the end of the demo.
Oh.
So I was like, kind of killed my momentum a little bit. I was like, I literally just finished him. I'm like, all right, let's go. And then we have to do all of this again. I'm like,
Okay. So,
okay.
so what you're saying is don't bother with the demo.
No, not this close. Not this
No.
close.
Yeah. No. We're literally. I will be holding it in my hands at some point tomorrow. So.
Yeah. But dude, let me tell you what. I'm gonna tell you what, Pedro.
Tell me what. Tell me what it is.
It is fucking phenomenal. It is so good. Like mind-bendingly blowing good. I don't know how they were able to craft this world like this and all the detail, and it reminds me of like what Final Fantasy 15 should have looked like had it been fully completed.
Yeah.
Dude, when you walk out of the first city and it gives you like that Fallout 3 moment, right? Where you're like, oh, here's the world you can explore. Here's like what the world map would be, right? It's like insane. It's you can tell it's handcrafted because there's multiple levels of terrain. It's most people when they're making, or most developers when they're making a map, they'll procedurally generate like the base layer of the map, and they'll go over and add things on it, and that's why you don't get a whole lot of like terrain and hills and cliffs in the middle of the map. You'll get like a big mountain with terrain, and then like small things around it. In Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, like there's so much elevation all over the place because they added in like a parkour free running element to the game, and they want you to use that. So it's like you don't even know what to look at when you're looking at the game. Like there's stuff everywhere all the time. There's little detail everywhere. It feels living and breathing, and it is a level of quality that, even though I came from remake super impressed, it's a level of quality that I didn't know that Square Enix could pull off. And that is what's most impressive to me.
Okay.
Like, dude, even the first town that you spend 30 minutes in feels absolutely massive and out of control. I don't know how they pulled it off. It's crazy.
That's crazy. I think it's crazy. It's on 2 PS5 discs.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a meaty boy. That's a fucking lot of meat on the bone there. Now how would you say it looks on your OLED? I am curious.
Phenomenal. It looks phenomenal. It looks really good. Actually,
Yeah.
I started the game on performance mode, 60 frames per second. I dropped it down to quality
Oh,
because
wow. Okay. All right.
yeah, because I would rather I want the game is so beautiful that I want to see it as
So
good as it
Yeah.
looks.
So this happened to me when I was playing through The Witcher, where I had it in performance mode, the 60 frames per second, but I'm like, I kind of want to, I kind of want to put it in performance mode, so I can get the ray tracing and like all the colors to pop. And like, I remember when I'm playing The Witcher, I would just like, I wouldn't even fast travel. I would just like travel everywhere
Yeah.
because like I just love looking at the world and how fucking pretty it is. And then when I popped the demo on my QLED here, and I didn't realize I'd fucked up my HDR because for some reason I turned off local dimming.
Mhm.
And I'm like, these black levels don't look right. They're not inky enough. I'm like, hold on, what's going on? Then I like messed around in the settings and turned on local dimming. I was like, oh. And once I turned on local dimming, it was a game changer because that was those blacks are inky black,
Nice.
and I have it on like a nice medium, so like brightness pops. It's fucking great. I literally love new TVs and the tech in them now. It's great.
My only complaint so far with the game is they don't when I go to adjust the HDR settings in the game, it doesn't give me like the three pictures or like the three settings. It just
Yeah.
gives me brightness and luminance, and that's it. And I'm like, oh, I can't adjust this because I don't
Oh,
even
like your
fucking
TV
no
does
no no the
that?
game itself the game
Uh,
itself. I'm like I don't even know
now
what
what do you have? What do you have your color temperature at on your TV?
vivid always.
Okay, see, I go warm
Mm,
because every like a lot of times, warm gives you like a more natural picture where the colors are more accurate.
yeah.
But yeah, I could respect vivid.
Yeah, because I went through those bright saturated colors. My eyes.
Yeah,
To me, it looks best. So what LG does with their OLEDs is they give you like a wizard, and it'll give you like 10 sets of 6 pictures, and it says pick the 2 pictures in each set that look the best to you, and then it recommends you the settings that you should have based on the pictures that you chose,
yeah.
and then
Wait,
then it changes.
okay. So I'm looking to get an LG like whenever I move into a different place, like it's bigger.
Hmm.
My this QLED is gonna go to my bedroom. And that's the reason I bought that because I wanted the smart TV Fire OS in my bedroom because I like to watch movies in bed. That's my thing.
Right.
So I think that's perfect. But when I get a living room, a traditional living room setup, I want the best TV I could possibly have that has all the bells and whistles. So like when I do run the high fidelity games, like I can have every feature at my fingertips because
Right.
I feel like I don't really need 120 hertz right now because nothing really commands it. But I think later in the generation, like I want to have my TV to be already capable of it.
Yeah. My honest to god take is that quality mode should be no less than 40 frames per second on
Mm,
today's
yeah,
standard, and performance mode should be like 90 and above.
yeah,
I think 60 is fine, but we were doing 60 frames per second last generation,
yeah,
and the games looked almost as good. And I'm like, man, why are we struggling so much to hit
yeah.
60 frames per second all the time? It's crazy.
I just wonder why that is, and then wondered like with the extra stuff that they put in games like ray tracing and fucking VRR and all that shit
Yeah.
bogs it down. Which I appreciate VRR. I like VRR a lot.
Yeah. I
Lock
mean,
that frame rate in
on
or refresh rate. Yeah,
remake, um, I played most of the game in performance mode, and then I switched to quality there at the end. And that I switched because, or no, I played most of the game in quality, and then I switched to performance at the end because I thought there was going to be like some, ray tracing or like, shadow difference or something like that. Um, it was just resolution, and I could not
hmm
tell the difference. In Rebirth, it goes from 1080 to 4K, so it's a much bigger jump, and also it adjusts the shadows. And I noticed that the game looked kind of fuzzy a little bit, so I was like, all right, I'm gonna turn this to quality, and I'm just gonna adjust to 30 frames per second. Because if I play in
yeah.
30 frames per second for a while,
You get used to it.
I
Yeah,
get used to it and I can't tell the difference. If I switch back
yes.
and forth, it's a big jump.
So where it hurt me because I when the demo came out, I had just beaten Crisis Core. So like I went Crisis Core then straight into the Rebirth demo. I was like, oh, this 30 frames, I can't deal with it. Like I
Oh,
can't.
so you did play the Rebirth demo?
Yeah, I played. I would say I didn't play very far in. Like
Mhm.
I got to a point where you're. I mean, I guess spoilers. I don't fucking know. Sephiroth's in your party, and I didn't go any further than that. Like when he joins your party, I did like the first battle where he's like OP as fuck, and I'm like, you know
Mhm.
what? Let's put it down. Put it down. Like let's just wait.
For me, it was a mind bending experience because I had just beaten Crisis Core
Yeah.
before that,
Yeah.
and they I can see the reason they went back and redid
And redid.
Crisis Core because they literally they almost expect you to play Crisis Core
Yeah.
because the lines Cloud says in his memory in his flashback when he's talking to the party
Mhm.
is word for word what Zack says in Crisis Core. And it's
That
like, wow,
motherfucker.
okay. So like they literally were like copying it. Like
Yeah.
it's not even different whatsoever, a lot of the
Now, I,
lines. So
I respect the game that does that because, um, I as we go in our gaming journey, like I used to get really annoyed if you jump into a game that like doesn't explain shit, especially if it's like a sequel. But now, my rule is like if the sequel or if the prequels are readily available, so like you can play Crisis Core pretty cheaply, and you can go through remake. I still think you should play 7 though, like before you
mhm,
play remake,
for sure.
because I think it just hits different. But if all that shit's widely available and then you jump into the latest installment and don't know what the fuck's going on, I think that's on you. Like it's kind of like
Um
I don't
Also,
know.
by the way, the book definitely relevant.
Oh, are you
100%.
kidding me?
Yeah,
Damn it,
no, because like
that annoys me.
there's a line that Tifa says to Aerith. It has to be 2 hours into the game,
Mm.
and
You wouldn't know that if
it's
you didn't listen. Yeah.
no, well, no, if you hear it and you don't know that that book exists, you're gonna be like, "What? How does Tifa know this information?" And then you go back and like, "Oh no, it's because it was referenced in the book." And it's like, "God damn it, why would they do that?"
So how long did it take you to get through the book?
I didn't read the book.
Oh,
No, I was too busy reading Star Wars books. I didn't want to read a fucking Final Fantasy book. So,
okay. Because I was like thinking like because I have like two different approaches that I wanted to take to Rebirth, where I was like, shit, I kind of don't want to touch Rebirth until I run through 7 again just to refresh everything. And then I was getting in the weeds. I was gonna run through 7, then run through remake again, and then
mhm.
Rebirth. But like, I think that's a little too much.
Yeah, I would agree. I would agree with that.
I mean, I still do really want to play replay, like, because I never replayed through Intergrade, like, because I just got it because I'm a consumer whore. I played
Mhm.
the Yuffie DLC, but like, I didn't run through Intergrade to like experience it on PS5 because I didn't think it'd be that much different. Um, but I'm
Make
like, now
sure
I'm
make sure you have your save files on your
yeah,
PS5 before you
uh,
start Rebirth because you'll miss out on the materia. They give you
uh,
Ramu and
off the bat.
yeah, Chocobo Trio, I think, for having the old save
Does it?
files.
Okay, so that's the only bonus you get.
Yeah, you get two summon materia and you get a bangle for pre-running the game, I think,
Mhm.
and something else. I think for playing the demo. I forget what it is.
Okay, all right, that's interesting. I would say.
Yep.
All right. So besides Rebirth, what else you been playing, buddy? Like what you been into?
Just we talked about it earlier. Crisis Core. I played through
Yeah.
Crisis Core and beat it. Um, and I know we talked about it last night, but man, I just some of those final stages, some of those final bosses really beat my ass into the ground.
What
I
level
don't.
were you?
I think I beat it at 40,
Okay. Yeah, I was about
but
45 when I beat it. Yeah.
yeah. Only did 17% of the missions because I was like, this is lame. I don't feel like sitting here grinding away all these missions. So
I did
that's
35. I
probably why.
did 35% of them, and like I was gonna go for like 100, and I'm like, you know what? I don't fucking care. Like these missions are so fucking boring. Like, I
Yeah,
mean, they were like bite sized. They don't take long, but they just get real boring.
there's like 1,000 of them though.
Yeah.
God, did you do the 1,000 Shinra Trooper mission?
I don't think I did.
Yeah, so there's the 50, 100, 200, and there's 1,000 that you can do. And it took me, I bet, 30 minutes of just
Mm.
casting Faraga and using an ether, casting Faraga again. Because I would
See, I
use
didn't.
Faraga
Yeah,
because
I didn't really
they're
use
weak
magic.
to it.
Mm.
You didn't use magic?
I would use so like I had the fire Firaga blade and like I would use it
Mhm.
that way, and then like the other moves I had were barrier, Kiraga, and then eventually I had wall. So
Yeah,
yeah,
I didn't want to use magic because I don't see Zach as like a
he's not a
magic
magic
user.
user. No.
But Genesis, the first time, like your first real boss fight with Genesis when he's not a joke,
Yeah.
um, beat my ass pretty good. And I looked up a strategy for him, and it's like, yeah, hit him with Blizzaga, and he goes down in like
Yeah.
4 hits.
Yeah, no, I hit him with the Blizzaga blade and it fucked his shit
Yeah,
up pretty good.
yeah.
I will say though, what I love about Crisis Core is that, like some of the times that when they set up the boss fights, like when you hear that soldier the soldier way, the
Oh yeah,
you're like yes,
yeah.
yeah, that's the shit I like.
The soundtrack in Crisis Core is phenomenal. Maybe
Oh
top
yeah.
10 soundtracks of all
So
time. I mean,
what if I told you? Do you know the history of Crisis Core?
no, I guess not.
Do you know who directed Crisis Core originally? So the guy who directed Crisis Core is the same guy who did Type Zero, who's the
Mm.
same guy who did 15.
Oh, so you're telling me it's Crisis Core? He peaked with Crisis Core, and then it was all
Yeah,
downhill from there.
yeah, basically, yeah. He peaked first shot because Crisis Core is fucking great. Um,
Yeah.
and Type Zero has its moments. It definitely has its sad boy energy moments for sure. So I think our boy likes the sad stuff.
Yeah.
He also did Third Birthday, which for you Parasite Eve fans,
Yeah, I've always wanted to
all
get a
three of
third
you.
birthday. I always wanted to
I
try the Parasite Eve series, but
I remember I got to the end of Parasite Eve 1 and never finished it. And then I traded one time when I was working at Elite in Lewisburg, I bought a copy of that. There's that fighting games that has Cloud in it on PS1.
Irgies.
Irgies, yeah, I bought that, right? And then I was like, shit, I really want to play Parasite Eve 2. So I messaged Rochelle and was like, yo, you want to trade? And she traded me Parasite Eve 2 for Air Guys.
Mm,
Yeah.
good trade
That is a good trade.
for
Yeah.
you. I mean,
Yes.
oh wait, no,
Ah,
you
I
she
might have
got
lost.
Irgies, right? She got
Yeah,
Irgies.
I might have lost, but
Yeah,
I didn't give a fuck about that game. I'm like, because
good
again,
for
like
her.
until maybe I'll be honest, I still don't really like Cloud, but until recently, like I've come around on 7 a lot. Because famously, like I used to not really fuck with Final Fantasy 7. Like it was kind of like it's fine, it's I get it, but I thought it was a little overrated. And then like once I played remake and then went back, I was like, okay, I like this.
Yeah, I think Final Fantasy 7 is the daddy of RPGs, whereas like you get
Yeah,
further back, like Final Fantasy 4 or
It's-
like is like the granddaddy, right? And
yeah,
there's generally there's very definitive generations in JRPGs
Mhm.
that you can tell the difference in, and that's what I love. And I think you look at it and you're like, all right, there's like the really early stuff, like Dragon Warrior and like the
Yeah,
first Final Fantasies, and
yeah,
then like you get to Final Fantasy 4, which is like a tentpole game, and then like Final
yeah,
Fantasy 7 into the
yeah,
3D era, and then
yeah.
like I don't know, there's another generation swap there somewhere where like shit got really weird and
So you added. So here's the thing: out of the PS2 ones, which ones do you think is better, 12 or 10?
10
Okay.
easy.
See,
I think 12 is a
I'm a
mess.
12 guy. I'm a 12 guy, but I
You can't give me a protagonist
yeah.
as unlikable as Vaughn and
I
expect me
just
to
feel
play the
like
game.
I feel like Ball Theorist should have been the protagonist. Like I
For
don't understand
sure.
why. Yeah, but here's the thing that I like about 10. A lot of people shit on 10, and I don't think it's fair because if you look at 10's story, I think it's one of the deeper stories that they've ever told. Where you have themes of like religion, there's racism, there's fucking
Mhm.
um, so many deep things going on there. Where if you like break it down, like Waka's a fucking raging racist bigot. Nobody likes to say that. Like he hates the Albed. He fucking hate like you know what I mean. Just like shit like that, and like the way they tell the story where that like religion's used to control everybody, in order to keep a certain cycle going. So I thought like that's really deep storytelling.
Mhm.
12 reminds me of Star Wars, like hard.
Yeah, except it
I
doesn't
get
have laser swords, which is
correct. It could have been exponentially better with laser swords. But as far as like the story, I just feel like it's like Star Wars to me.
okay. I can see
That's
that.
kind of the vibes I get that, and then but I do love the world of Evilise, and then like how they named all the ships like after summons, and the judges are fucking cool as fuck. Shout
Yeah.
out Cabranth.
So if you love Evil East so much, when are you gonna go back and get to the Evil East Final Fantasy 14 stuff with me?
Buddy, I keep I get on 14 and then I just lose interest. I tell you I finally figured out like how to do all the Ethernet stuff or the wind stuff so I can fly places.
Oh yeah, you told me
Yeah,
that.
so because I got locked. So when we were doing that Alexander quest, I got locked out of it. Well, not locked out of it, but I couldn't figure out like how to get to the main island because the guy was just standing there. I'm like, well, what the fuck? Like, until you told me to do some of the blue missions where guys like you have to get the rest of the aether currents. I was like, oh. So then like I was like, oh yeah, now I got to do that for the rest of the worlds I've beaten. And I was like, oh, I don't know if I want to do that. And then I stopped playing. But I'm gonna get in there because I gotta what Dawnbreakers is this summer.
Something like that.
Yeah,
Something like that. I'm not sure.
I got a couple expansions to get through.
I got so much JRPG work in front of me that that's not even on my radar right now. To be honest with you, it's I'll get there when I get there. You know,
Yeah, dude,
that's kind of my
you're
vibe.
fucking balls deep in JRPGs, buddy. Because what
Yeah, I mean,
after Rebirth, are you going back to Trails?
yeah, I got to build this at some point. You know, this is just sitting there waiting for me. So
Yeah. Oh man, Crisis Core. You've been playing Rebirth. Anything else,
yeah,
buddy?
now dude, I've just been hammering that out. That's it.
Nice. All right. So, things I've been playing. We definitely talked about this last night. I guess full disclosure to anyone who doesn't watch both the podcasts you do. I was on Frameskip last night, so it was like an Alpha Nerds cross Frameskip episode, which was a lot of fun. Definitely check it out. Over on the Frameskip YouTube channel. So there was your plug. Uh, so I played Silent Hill: The Message, and we didn't really get into this on Frameskip, but we can get into it a little bit now. My issue with this game was that it's telling a message, ironically a short message because it is short, that it's about like cyberbullying and kids like being made fun of, and there's like some themes of child abuse, and I think one kid was like like if you read into the story, like I think there was some alleged sexual abuse in there, but the story to me screams very like woke LGBTQ, which again, I don't inherently personally have a problem with. I just don't like. I don't need it everywhere in my face,
Yeah,
and I just felt like with this game, I don't think is bad. Like, so I don't want to put it out there that I think the game is bad. Like, I just think it missed me because like some of the shit like that like this kid is subjected to as far as like people saying things to him to them, if somebody would said that to me online, we probably would have caught hands the next day in school. Like that's kind of where I would have been at.
yeah, that's
Like,
how I feel about it.
yeah, so like cyberbullying to me, like never in a million years would somebody say some shit to me on Facebook and then be like, "Oh, I'm being bullied." Like, no, we're gonna fucking hash that shit out. But like that's a different time period, and I understand things are different now. So I think for younger people, especially like you Gen Z folks, I think this game will resonate more with you. And maybe this is your Silent Hill and us old heads. This isn't for us anymore. Like we're not the demographic. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know if the stories are gonna tell are gonna be for us, but I will say graphically, the
our
game's great.
Our Silent Hill games had like minor issues,
Yeah,
like psychological issues, like murder,
yeah,
and like religious genocide stuff like that. Those were
yeah.
our Silent Hill issues, but I guess your issues are pretty cool too.
Yeah, so like I just feel like that game missed me, but again, I don't think it's a bad game. It just ain't for me. Then I jumped to. I feel like I was just getting taking my lumps this week. So then I jumped to like Need for Speed Unbound, and this game, like I said last night, doesn't it? I don't know if they were going for underground vibes, which from what I read was a lot of the criticism. People are like, oh, they're trying to be Need for Speed Underground. I don't really see it. I get most wanted vibes out of this game. But here's the thing they do. Like this game is very woke and LGBTQ and like inclusion, which is again all fine and dandy. Be who you want to be. Like I could give two flying fuck what you do behind closed doors, what you identify as, whatever. Pay your taxes. Shut the fuck up to me. That's kind of where I'm at.
Yeah,
If that offends anybody, it is what it is. What sorry, but I just don't like it when it's just beating me in the head in every game I play, and it's just all over the place. Where like you're playing a Need for Speed game, and you pick up a character, their name is Jacinta, or I think that's the way they pronounce it, and they very allude that this character is trans, and so your main character doesn't ask them about anything. You just kind of just blurts it out, just comes out with it. I'm like, oh, okay, so that's there. We're just gonna let that lay there and do
yeah,
it. You know what I mean? Like
Can we go back
and
to
this,
racing cars now?
yeah, like that's not what I'm playing a Need for Speed game. Like, just give me the Need for Speed. Give me my dumb story about trying to redeem yourself, and I'm running from the cops. Like, because the gameplay's great. Like, I love the gameplay. Like, I love the cop chases. That's a good time. But where this game kills me is all the fucking woke lingo, like bruh and lit and cuh and fucking fam and
Yeah,
on fleek and all this other stupid shit. Where I'm like, I don't really like. That's not why I'm here. Like, so
right.
again, maybe this Need for Speed isn't for me. Like, maybe they missed me with this one too. So it
Nope,
that
shouldn't be for anybody, dude. Shouldn't be for
I,
anybody. Shouldn't be for
yeah,
anybody.
I just wish they would go back to Need for Speed Underground because man, EA, everyone loves Need for Speed Underground. I've never heard anyone who be like, Need for Speed Underground blows." Like, no, that's just not an opinion you hear, and it sucks because like, um, I don't know if the who the fuck is the Burnout Studio? I can't think of their name now. Criterion.
Yeah.
They're the ones who developed this. I don't know if they've been on the Need for Speed series since because this is the first NFS game I've played since I think most of their Carbon. So because the series fell the fuck off, man. Like it's
Right.
kind of
Yeah, I don't know. This game got hammered pretty hard for its rating. I don't think it's just a you thing. I think that they put bad writing in the game, and they should deserve to get smacked for it. It's like honestly, we don't really need a story in a Need for Speed game.
not
Underground
really
didn't
no.
really. The first Underground didn't really have a story, and it was
Nope.
phenomenal. You just jumped in your car, you made some fucking track wins. All right, that's all you need. So let's get back to that, and let's make Need for Speed great again. How about that?
Yeah, magnificent. I
Yeah.
think that's how you'd say it. And then the other game I played, which I was in for like a palate cleanse. I think that was like what I was trying to do this like past 2 week window, just kind of palate cleanse from JRPGs and just kind of refresh my mindset for however long Rebirth is going to take because I'm going to take my sweet time with Rebirth. I'm going to make sweet love to it, gently, lovingly. And I played. I was in a shooter mood, so I downloaded Call of Duty Black Ops, the Cold War.
Yeah.
That I forgot because I'm a retired Call of Duty guy. Like back in the day, I was on Call of Duty 4. I was on World at War. I was in for the first Black Ops, and then I came back for MW3, and then my last one was Black Ops 2, and then I was
Okay.
out. But coming back to Call of Duty, and I just forgot how much I love like big budget shooters, like with the big budget fucking campaign, and
Mm-hmm.
it's just fun. Like and especially the Black Ops games always have great campaigns.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna give Call of Duty its due. The last two Call of Duty games I've played, the campaigns I played, Call of Duty WW2, which I really liked, and then with Black Ops Cold War, I really fucking like that too. So I'm like, do I need to go back and run through more Call of Duty campaigns? I feel like it's just a fun time.
I heard the newer ones are real bad though.
Yeah, that's what I heard too. So I need to do a little research on it because I have Modern Warfare. It was on PS Plus, and so I'm gonna run through that campaign at some point. But the ones I really want to run through is where the one where Kit Harington's the villain.
Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah, I think he's the villain in Advanced Warfighter. I think that's him.
Hmm.
And then the other one, there's another game. I forget which Black Ops it is. I think it's Black Ops 3. It's either Black Ops. Yeah, I think it's Black Ops 3 where the dude from trying to think of his fucking name. You ever watch like Law and Order SVU?
I mean, I'm sure in passing I have, at some point.
Well, he's like the one detective in it, and like but he's like the main villain in one of the Call of Duty games, which I think is really good. And I like that. Also, Conor McGregor is in. I think he's an Advanced Warfighter.
Fuck. What the fuck is Conor McGregor doing?
Yeah, that was like during the height of his fucking prime. That was prime McGregor.
Tell you what he's not doing. Not fighting is what he's not doing.
No, yeah, dude. Michael Chandler has been waiting to kill this man for how many years now?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know. He's been training and he says he's ready. My assumption is that the UFC doesn't want to pay Conor what he wants, and that there's like negotiation issues.
Speaking of UFC, you ready for this card coming up, buddy?
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. The
Dude,
UFC has not.
Michael Van Page is fighting on this card.
The UFC hasn't really, gotten me fired up in a while.
Dude, the last fight night I was texting you about would have gotten you fired up because that was a fucking banger card. It was a banger. So many good fights.
Maybe I need to start paying attention a little more.
Dude, there were so many good fights, and then literally the main event was a fucking war. It's a fucking war. It was like beautiful. You know, it was fucking Brandon Moreno and then some. I forget the other guy's name, but it was so good, so good.
Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like for a while now they started degrading in quality the Final Fantasy, and or not Final Fantasy, UFC, and I'm like, man, there used to be like 13 cards a year, or
Yeah,
maybe
no.
20, you know, and
Mhm.
they were all bangers, all of them, and now we got like 52 cards a year. And I'm like, I don't know. There's a lot to keep
Yeah.
track of all year round, you know. I
So
don't know.
this next card coming this Saturday, I'm gonna watch too because I don't know. I tend to watch the UFC fight nights every week,
Mhm.
but I think fucking what the hell's his name? Khabib's brother's fighting on this, or one of his relatives on here.
Oh, one of the
Um,
Dagestani fucks.
yeah. So they're gonna like just fucking be a wrestling clinic, and it's gonna
Yeah.
be great.
Well, they're not
Um,
wrestlers. They're fucking sombars or whatever you would call
mm.
it, somboers.
so this card that we're gonna watch on pay per view. So main event is gonna be Sean O'Malley, Marlon Vera,
Hmm.
and then we got Poirier, Saint Denis, Kevin Holland versus Michael Venom Page, Gilbert Burns, Jack Della Madella. What I can't pronounce his name. Peter Yan's fighting on this fucking card. And then in the prelims, we get Curtis Blades in the main prelim. And then this another fun fight. Rafael dos Anjos is on the fucking prelims.
Wow.
So, dude, I am so excited for this fucking card. It's gonna be great. Now that I said that, watch it be a turd. But like, oh, you excited? You excited for the UFC, little boy? Huh? Yeah. So I don't know. I've been really loving the UFC lately. It's been like my little Saturday night thing where I get done watching all my sports and then like I lay in bed, making myself a little ketogenic snack and then
Yeah.
watch some guy trade some fucking leather.
How is the keto thing going?
Oh, it's going great, dude. I feel outstanding.
Good.
Last night after the pod, I had a nice keto grilled cheese, which was great,
Nice.
and a little
Nice.
keto bread, a little smoked Gouda, and yeah, it's. I forgot how easy this diet is.
Yeah, it is.
So I don't know why it was more just like a discipline thing. I'm like I could do keto or I could have pizza.
Yeah.
Um, and then but now what my rule is if there's a night where I'm gonna be out with friends or say if I'm going on a date or something and like I'm just gonna break keto and then start over and like well fucking like I don't know why I wasn't doing that before. I was like kind of making too much of a big deal about it to be
Hmm.
honest, like because and then so I started keto with like an 87-hour fast.
Nice. That's
Yeah,
what
and
we
then
like to hear.
but then I broke fast with I had some bone broth, to get my stomach ready to consume food. And then now lately I eat once a day, really,
Hmm.
and I feel great. Like I don't feel bloated. I'm not like gassy. So that's
Nice.
it's been a real good change. The only thing I got to start doing is I've been drinking a lot of these sparkling waters, but I'm gonna try and wean myself off of those and
Hmm.
go to more seltzers because I want to weed out the aspartame.
Okay.
Here's the thing that kills me. I love sweet drinks. Like I love drinks.
Hmm.
That's my thing. If I don't have drinks in the fridge, I'm fucking miserable. Like I could literally not eat, but if I don't have something to drink, I'm upset. I don't know what it is, but then like,
That's fair.
so I don't think I was just a soda addict. I think I was just addicted. Like I like carbonated drinks too. So like, I don't know what it is. Something about just a nice carbonated drink just kind of just hits right for me.
Right.
So I used to drink those Zevias, like they were like the 0 calorie, 0 sugar, 0 caffeine
Hmm.
sodas, and I found them again, but they got expensive. So I'm like, this sparkling water's cheaper, but you know what? Don't have acid. Just get the fucking Zevia. You'll feel better. You know, just get all the bullshit, like any bullshit out of your body. Because I've been doing, minus the sparkling water, I've been doing completely clean keto. So like nothing filled with preservatives. Nothing like I look at the ingredients and I want minimal. I don't want any like crazy oils that I don't know what the fuck it is or Toradol or I started really really looking at like what's in stuff because I didn't realize how good you feel when you eat clean, like how fucking great
Yeah.
you feel. So I've been doing that. Instead of butter, I use ghee. Switched to using coconut oil, grapeseed oil.
Why aren't you using
Min-
butter?
just because the ghee content is like more refined, less preservatives. So if you look at
Some
like butter,
straight
like
butter.
yeah, because of the milk they use. So it's like so I've been like really getting into the nitty gritty of like how like I don't have to, but for me, like I just want to eat as clean as humanly possible.
Hmm.
Because I don't know, I like lately I've just been feeling really good. The only thing now we got to get the sleep corrected. We gotta now that Pokemon Sleep taught me I snore like a scumbag. Like it like I literally hate
Well,
myself for like when I listen to it. It's like ah
that'll come when you lose some weight with the keto too,
yeah
though. Yeah, like I snore. Since I gained weight, I snore way worse. I didn't used to snore this bad,
yeah. Well, I
but
used to not. Well, okay, so maybe I've always snored, but not to be kissing and telling, but when times I've slept with people and have people over, no one said anything about snoring. So I
yeah,
was always under the impression I didn't snore. Because to me, snoring is like Robert, where you fucking hear him.
dude.
Yeah, like
Robert saw some logs.
yeah, dude. I don't know how I slept when he was down, and we had that Airbnb and fish down here in Philly. Because
Mhm.
me and Robert stayed in the same room, and I don't know how I slept because I woke up the next day and like one of his snores woke me up. I was like, "What the fuck is that?" And like
Yeah,
I looked
Robert
over, it
snores
was
really
him.
bad. Um, when we went to New York Comic Con, me and him, I had to go get earplugs in the middle of the night. I asked my
Yeah,
hotel if they had any, and they were like, "No, we don't have any earplugs." I was like, all right, is there a place around here I can go buy earplugs?
yeah,
Because
we need him
I was so
now.
tired. I had not slept in like 36 hours, and Robert's snores still kept me awake.
Yeah, that's it, dude. They're bad. And
Yeah,
Bertha, we love you, buddy, but you may need to see Pep there, pal. Like, because that's
yeah.
the other thing he does. Speaking of him, the other weird thing he does when he's sleeping,
Well,
he'll like be asleep with his phone like this, like he's on it.
oh yeah, yeah.
I
He watches his phone until he falls asleep.
that is so strange. Like, how doesn't he just drop his phone all the time? Like,
I have no
he
idea.
he made dude. He like literally when I woke up, he was asleep in the same position he fell asleep in with his phone in his hand. I'm like, how didn't he drop it?
Maybe he just like seizes up from the lack of oxygen when he sleeps. And just
Jesus Christ. Oh man. So last thing I want to touch base on. I've been watching Shogun, dude, and we talked
okay.
about it last night. You need to get on there.
I don't even know what it's about.
It's about it's kind of I think it's based on somewhat of a true story, or like at least in Japanese history, where it's just basically I don't know if it's Meiji era or Edo period. I forget which period it is, but the Portuguese are in there trying to get money out of the Japanese and take over. And this dude from like Hall or England comes in and like disrupted a bunch of shit. And I don't know, it's just great stuff. Like I love it. It makes me want to play Ghost of Tsushima and fucking get in there. That's what it reminds me of a little bit, like live action Ghost of Tsushima. But like there's a lot of like Game of Thrones vibes where it's like a lot of politics, a lot of backstabbing, a lot of setup. And so I like shit like that. And then the first two episodes, chef's kiss. Love it. So I would recommend it. It's on Hulu.
It looks pretty cool.
Yeah, dude. And I forget that actor's name. He's in everything Japanese, but he's in it. He's like one of the main characters. And I
I
like
don't know.
that they speak natural Japanese, where it's like just subtitled. They're not like just Japanese guys speaking English to speak English. So I don't know. I really like it. Been loving it. So those of you who are looking for show recommendations, check out Shogun. So let's get into the main meat and potatoes here. Nintendo. That fucking direct, that partner direct, it wasn't great. It wasn't bad, but to me, it was a bit of a nothing burger with fries, essentially. And the only
Okay.
reason I say with fries is because the SMT5 announcement, but the reason why it's fries is because then it came out that it was coming to multi-plat. So getting SMT5 off the fucking Switch is the greatest. I could have cried tears of joy.
You're not gonna play it anyway.
I might because with the frame rate not being fucked up, because that's what took me out of that game. I was like just playing it I'm like this world is empty. This frame rate runs like ass. Like I'm not enjoying this. Like this game's trying to be something it's not, and I feel like the Switch is holding it back. Like it's like, oh, we want to be a pretty game, but we're on the fucking Switch.
There must have been some sort of monetary reason Atlas was like, yeah, I want to make games on the Nintendo consoles from now on.
They were doing it for years. Like, I mean, the 3DS made sense. But as far as like when Switch came out, they're like, oh yeah, we're gonna put the mainline SMT on Switch, only Switch. But then like so with Soul Hackers, which remember was like a 3DS game,
Mm-hmm.
the Soul Hackers 2 came out and they came out on everything but Switch. So I'm just like, what the
Good. It's time to leave the Switch behind. I'm sick of it.
You're sick of it? Why are you sick of the Switch,
Done,
buddy?
dude.
Lay
Because
it on
it's
me.
fucking old. It's old and it's weak, and it's time to move on, old man. You know, that's how I feel about the Switch.
Yeah, I don't know. Like there's a lot of stuff like I'm not into a lot of the Switch indie games. Um so like a lot of stuff people got jazzed for again, like I just feel like games are just missing me these days. Like I'm like, no, not for me. And I don't know. I just think it's like strange where I don't know, just games that are not like what's for us right now, buddy? Like what are Pedro and Seth games?
Final
Besides
Fantasy VII Rebirth.
mm,
Helldivers, dude. You should have been on the Helldivers train. You
I
were having so much fun.
I know I'm gonna get on there. If you play on PS5, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's
Yeah,
crossplay.
I'll probably get it for PS5. But Battlefront though, we're all getting on PC. We made a pact.
Yes. Yes.
and
We all have
I will,
PCs.
yes, so I will play Battlefront on PC. But just to recap some of the stuff that was announced in here. Again, I know we went through a lot of this on yesterday's show, but this is my fucking show, so I'm gonna go through it again. Pentiment got announced, Grounded from Xbox coming to Xbox to Switch. Endless Ocean, because that needed a return, is back.
It did not need to return.
Shin Megami Tensei 5 Vengeance. So, and we had talked about this last night too, where does Atlas need to be stopped?
Yes.
Like this.
It's time to end them, actually.
Yeah, because it's getting out of hand. It's getting out of hand. So now, what's to say? Like they put out Persona 3 Reload, right, or remake, or whatever the fuck they called it. What if they give us a different version? That this one's better, more content.
Persona 3 Reload FES.
Yeah. What if they do that shit? What if they hurt us? I mean, they're not gonna hurt me, but what if they do it again? You never know. You never know what they're gonna do. You can't trust them.
I'm fucking sick of them. That's what I'm done.
Or how about Persona 5 coming out with extra content on the PS5?
Those ass clowns, dude. When he told me that, I actually couldn't believe it. I was flabbergasted.
I thought you knew. I was shocked you didn't know.
No, I didn't know that there was two different versions of Royal. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, because the Royal when Royal came out, they added a new like social link. Yeah, and I think that guy affects the ending, kind of.
Well, yeah, because they added the gymnast girl Kasumi, and they added a new semester. But what's up with like them adding even more content into the PS5 version, and then not allowing you to transfer your save?
Yeah, it's fucked up. Yeah, that's
wrong.
fucked up. I agree, because that's not okay. Hang on, let me pull this back up here. Where'd it go? There we are. All right. So again, Shin Megami Tensei 5 was announced. Epic Mickey's coming back, which I mean, I think it's kind of cool, but
I never played them, so I kind of wanted to.
Yeah, Epic Mickey's a good game. Star Wars Battlefront, which we talked about. OG Battlefront, love it. I love the Thanos meme, which where it's like you couldn't handle it, now you came.
Oh, the one I sent last night. Yeah,
great meme, great fucking meme. You should make that the fucking thumbnail.
All right, I can do that.
And other things announced: Ender Lilies, which I think that's cool. I like Ender Lilies. It's one of the slew of Metroid fucking Vanias we're getting, so have fun with that. Unicorn Overlord, Monster Hunter Stories, which I think that's a cool game to come to Switch. I liked Monster Hunter Stories a little bit. I played of it. South Park Snow Day, which I don't know if is that going to be like. I don't know if that's going to be like the same style they've been doing them with. They're like.
I've never played it. I've never played it.
I thought you were a Fractured Butthole guy.
I was, and then I was a Stick of the Truth guy, and then I played a little bit of Fractured Butthole, and I never finished it.
Okay. Sword Art Online, Fractured Daydream. What the fuck is this title? Like,
it's Japanese.
Gundam Breaker, which those games hurt me because I was so excited for Gundam Breaker.
I don't know why. Dude,
I don't
has
know.
there
I
ever
just
been a single good Gundam game?
no. And here's what we really need, and we'll never get it, but we need it, and maybe we don't need it. I don't fucking know. But just let From Software let them do an Armored Core style game with Gundams. Like just do
Yeah.
that. Just do that. Give me the Gundam story. That's it. That's all I want. That's it.
Bandai Namco doesn't give a single fuck about Gundam, dude. Not a
No,
single one. But also, we're in the minority here because these Gundam games are massive in Japan.
like, of course they are because they fucking love Gundam. They'll eat up Gundam.
They also
Speaking of
apparently
which,
love bad games.
I watched the most recent Gundam. I forget the fuck it's called now, but it's like they were basically in a
The
school.
Queen's
Uh,
Blood or something like that.
yeah,
Like,
dude, I fucking hated that one. I'm like, I was trying not to be like, I gave it like 7 episodes of it because I watched it and hated it. I'm like, no, maybe it's you. Don't be a bigot, okay? Pink Gundam, it's fine. It's fine. And then it's not fine. It's not fine. It's
no.
not fine. I can't go from Iron Blooded Orphans to that shit. Like I can't.
Witch from Mercury, that's the name of it.
Yeah, I can't. I can't. Like I tried and I can't. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. No, the
Stop.
Witch from Mercury was not popular. Only like
Yeah.
fucking liberal fucks liked it. I don't
Yeah.
know why you're being so nice to him this episode. Just saying it's not for you. No, it's not for fucking anyone, Pedro. No one likes this shit.
Well, because I'm starting to think it's me. Like I think
It's
I
not
think it's me.
just you, dude. It's not just you. You're seeing all this shit crater. Like, have you not seen all these like massive companies cratering because
we're getting into that.
Okay.
We're gonna get into that because I like the energy here. Save that anger for me.
Someone's got to bring it. I mean, come on.
So we're getting Pocket Card Jockey, which I don't know what that is. Then there was a scissor reel. Kingdom Come Deliverance is coming to Switch. The Royal Edition. So have fun, Switch owners are getting your shit kicked in. And then the last one, which was the most fucking egregious one, was the rare announcement. They announced Blast Core, Killer Instinct, which is fine, and then a couple other nothing burgers. But like, why didn't we get Diddy Kong? Why didn't we get Conker? Like, what the fuck?
I'm not a Nintendo fan. I don't care about any of those games.
I see. I'm a Rare guy. I love Rare. So like, or used to. I don't know if I like Rare anymore, but yeah, I was definitely disappointed with that. So getting into what you just kind of brought up, layoffs. So Sony laid off 900 employees, and then I think didn't EA just announce they laid off about 8% of their workforce?
Yeah, there's been massive layoffs.
All right, so I'm going to give you the soapbox, buddy. Like, get it off your chest. What do you got for us?
I don't really care. I mean, like, we're talking like sure, this has been a bad year for layoffs, but also this could have been seen a mile away. I mean, they bulked up during COVID because they saw the numbers go up, and just like every corporatized company ever, they made a terrible decision based on the data and not knowing actually what was going on in the actual industry, and now they're suffering for it. And this is just a course correction for what happened in the pandemic. That's all.
Yeah, because I thought the growth during the pandemic was like wild. Like these companies were like, oh yeah, people are going to play games. They're playing more games now than ever. Well, no shit, we can't go anywhere.
Yeah. Gaming went up like 200% during the pandemic. So everyone was like,
because
whoa, it's like, all right, well, that's not forever. This is just a course correction. So,
yeah,
go back to making fucking, I mean, it also, we're seeing like a lot of the trend with these like tech companies laying off tons of people, like when Elon fired like 90% of Twitter staff.
And they were fine.
Yeah, and we're seeing like these companies like course correct, and they're like, okay, what do you do here actually? Oh, you're like the fucking like brand ambassador person. Fuck out of here. Get out of here.
Yeah, now you're seeing a lot of people just get straight pigeon tossed like out of the industry, and you're like, oh well. So I mean, it sucks for those people who lost their jobs. You don't want to see people lose jobs, like unless certain people, like there's certain people I would love to see.
They didn't lose their job. They're getting laid off. If they're worth their money, they'll get hired at some other studio.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say next, actually. But there's certain people I'd like to see lose their job, like certain journalists of the world. But we'll get there. We'll get to that point someday where I can't wait for the crash and burn. Fucking games journalists.
It's already crashing and burning, dude. It's already.
I can't wait. I know. I can't wait for it all to fucking come crashing down. But yeah, Sony speaking of them, like, so they laid off 900 employees, but you see what's going on with their new CEO or the guy who's going to take over. Our boy is coming with the PP wax. He was saying, and I know Colin quoted it on the last Sacred Symbol, but basically he said they lacked accountability, where they were like, he wasn't happy. And then literally this came, and then like I think a couple days later they closed Sony London and laid off 900 people. They're like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Hey, you gotta lay the smack down sometimes.
So I'm like looking at this. I'm like, could this be a sign that Sony's gonna stop fucking around now, or like are they gonna be like what's Sony gonna look like now? I
No.
like this energy. I like the fucking hey, we're not happy here.
Well, fucking no. They're not gonna course. No. What they're gonna do is they're gonna let that ship burn until they have no other option, dude. They're so deep into live service shit right now that they haven't made a single fucking thing. They haven't talked to the audience in like forever because they know no one wants to hear that all they're making is live service games. So they've just gone quiet for a year and a half, and they think that's acceptable. And they see Helldivers 2 come out and treat the fans cool, and they're like, "Oh wow, that's probably pretty good." So they're gonna double down on the live service thing, even though no one fucking wants it. And there's nothing I love more than watching dumb fucking decisions blow up. I sincerely hope that everyone involved in Rocksteady's creation of Suicide Squad gets out of the industry forever and goes homeless. That's what I want. That's what I fucking want. I want all of you dumb motherfuckers, maybe not like the developers making the art assets, but like everyone in management. We take your career outside back of the shed and we fucking popped you in the back of the head. That's what I want. Like, you should never work in this industry ever again because that game was developed for nobody. And Sony's making the same thing. Foam Stars came out. Pedro, did you know Foam Stars came out?
I knew it came out. I didn't fucking give a fuck.
Have you heard about anyone talk about it? No.
Oh.
This is what Sony's been dumping their resources into. All right. All this bullshit. Let's take it easy. And I'm just going to sit back and play my fucking JRPGs, my third-party JRPGs, until Sony decides, hey, maybe we should be a little more creative again.
Yeah.
You know, but they're not going to because Xbox has decided they're just going to fucking take a back seat.
Yeah. Like, we'll get into that next. Yeah. So, how do you feel about the whole Xbox messaging? Because they're full of shit, right? Like they're like, oh, only 4 games are coming. Y'all are full of shit. Like, all the games are coming. They're all coming.
Yeah, until they see how much money it brings in. Like that was the thing. They didn't want to like nuke the whole brand by bringing all the games over at once. So like, oh, you know, we're gonna bring 4 games over. It's a trial period. They wanted to see how good they sold. Now that they see they're selling like hotcakes, they're gonna be like, all right, bring 4 more, and then 4 more next month.
Yeah, and so I think the death of Xbox as we know it. Like I think it's coming. I'd be shocked. They said they're gonna do another box, which I don't believe for a second that they're going to do another console. Like, I don't believe that. But yeah, I just think we're getting into the point where the industry's in a real weird spot. Like, I feel like Sony feels like they don't have to try. I feel like we're not getting a lot of effort out of Sony. And that's why I said I was happy to see, like, they were seeing, oh, nobody's accountable. Like, what the fuck are we doing? We're spending way too much money. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, stop fucking hiring these blue-haired, straight out of college little cunts to do your fucking games.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah, because
make games for people who fucking buy them. How about that?
Yeah. Well, and then, did you see what the fucking did you watch any of that Xbox podcast?
No,
I don't think you did.
Give a fuck.
I fucking suffered through it because I hate myself. But he made a statement. Their CEO made a statement. They're like, he thinks in like 5 to 10 years, exclusive games aren't going to matter. Exclusives fucking matter, dickhead.
Yeah, that's the only reason people buy the systems. You know?
Yeah. That's why I bought a PS5 because I like all the Sony exclusives, most of them. So I'm like, yeah. That's why I haven't bought an Xbox because there's no fucking reason to. Because think about the fucking, and I know this is something we've beat over the head all the time with the Microsoft first party stuff because it's all shit. It's been shit.
Yeah.
Starfield, not great. I played a little bit of Starfield, didn't love it. And that hurt because I was looking forward to Starfield. I was fucking looking forward to Starfield.
People say that it really opens up like 25 hours in.
Okay, like, so is that okay? Like, do you find that to be acceptable? Okay, because I'm like, don't tell me to waste 25 hours of my, like, the only game that ever got away with that, the only series that ever gets away with that, and they got lucky they got away with that with us, was Trails.
Yes.
Because if you play Cold Steel, that motherfucker's a slow burn, and if you play Trails of Cold Steel 1 and quit, I don't blame you, because we were there. There were a couple times we walked away from like this game whack.
But
And
also,
then,
as we've reiterated before, our fault, our bad, right? We should have played the first games in the series first. That's
yeah,
all.
yeah. So, but a lot of people don't know that. But no, not that I want to talk about Trails. We will not talk about Trails on this fucking show. But in a little bit, yeah, play the barrel arc first, and then you'll understand. But yeah, I just feel like the games industry is in a real weird spot, and I hate the spot Sony's in. I haven't been a fan of like what they've been doing. I haven't played any first party stuff really this generation besides God of War, and then they said the PS5 is approaching the latter half of its life cycle, which is true, but and then I felt like I'm like, fuck, we haven't really gotten that, like, you know, that game where you pop it in, and maybe Rebirth is that game, but when you pop it in and like, yeah, this is why the fuck I bought a PlayStation. This is next gen. This is why we're here. I
Yeah.
feel like I have never gotten that experience on PS5 at all.
The only
At
time
all.
I did was with Final Fantasy 16.
Okay. Yeah, when we were doing the boss fights, I could see that.
Yeah. Final Fantasy has been the consistently best series on PS5, which is insane because it's been trashed the last generation. So
yeah, it just sucks, man. Like, I just feel like we're not getting that, like, those moments from Sony where, like, you remember that when you first played Infamous, and then like, or even like when you first popped in like Last of Us, like those moments where you're like, oh shit, this is why I'm on, I'm on PlayStation. This is why you can only get this on PlayStation. And then even in the PS4, when we got God of War, like Spider-Man, like those seminal fucking games,
sure.
or tentpole games as you call it. And then like on PS5, like the tentpole games are Final Fantasy 16 and Rebirth, and a lot of the other shit is just like cross-gen stuff. Like, when are we gonna stop making PS4 games? Like, when is stuff gonna stop coming to PS4? When?
Fucking, I don't know, man.
we're in 2024, and I'm assuming the Rebirth came out on PS4, right? No, okay, because I thought it did. I was like,
I mean, I'll double check. I don't think it did.
I'm gonna be upset if it did, because it shouldn't. Like, all you fucks have ample time to get a 5. They're not terribly horrifically priced. Like, you can get one. They're readily available.
It's PS5 exclusive.
Thank God. Because that's a shit, like, when Ragnarok was, like, PS4 as well, like, that shit annoyed me. I'm like, fuck. Like,
yeah, that was lame.
Like, give me a reason to be like, this is why I upgraded to a 5 day one, you assholes. Like,
yeah.
And then I just feel like, and then, like, with Nintendo, they're just, like, your fucking weird cousin that nobody likes that just kind of is there. They're just kind of around doing their own thing. And nobody ever holds them accountable. Ever.
No, they'll just, like, accept Nintendo for what they are. And I'm like, hey, let's fucking not. How about we hold these bitches accountable, you know?
Yeah, like, because real quick on the Pokemon stuff, like, Pokemon's been fucked up for a couple years now, from what I've gathered. Like, Pokemon has not been great, and like, people don't love Scarlet and Violet. Like, I really haven't heard good things about Scarlet and Violet.
I thought it was fine. That's where I was at with it.
I heard it came out like broken.
It wasn't broken. Broken's a pretty strong word for it.
That's hyperbole around it.
No, it was just low frame rate and super ugly. So that's how it came out. Ugly.
What else? They announced what, the Pokemon Z to A. I don't know what the fuck this title is. Is it Z to A?
It's Japanese.
It's Z-A. Like, what the fuck?
Call it whatever you want, you know?
And all they showed was, like, literally a splash screen. They didn't really show any gameplay or anything. And so, like, yeah, ready 2025. I'm like, fucking really? Like, you gave me a 12-minute Pokemon Presents about all this bullshit, and then just kind of fucked off into whatever it was you were doing. Like, that's kind of like, hey, we're here. Here's some shit. See ya.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm excited for it because I loved X and Y. I know some people didn't. I thought X and Y was phenomenal.
People think this is going to be based off I thought this can be a sequel to Arceus. I thought this is what it was.
Well, it's not going to be a direct sequel to Arceus,
or it's going to be like in the same vein as Arceus or Arceus.
It's a Pokemon Legends game, so they're thinking it's going to be similar, but we don't really know anything about it.
I don't know, just remake fucking X, or yeah, remake X and Y, which they won't do, and then remake Gale of Darkness and Coliseum.
Well,
That's
they
it.
need to remake the black and white games first,
Yeah,
which is everyone thought we were gonna get, but we didn't.
yeah. I don't know what's going on over there. Like, how is there nobody that's promoted in Nintendo who like gets it? Like, this is what your fans want. Literally, the only people who buy Nintendo products are for Nintendo games, and like they literally don't give the fans literally anything they want. They tell the fans what they want. You're getting a Zelda, and it's this. You're getting
Yeah.
Mario, it's this. Like, Nintendo dictates to their fans what they want. Like, it's fucking wild. It's wild. Then I say that, and then when Switch 2 gets announced, I'll get excited, and I'm in, because I fucking hate myself. But it's fine.
Hey,
I've literally
here's
got.
a fun fact. Did you know that you can still buy the Final Fantasy trading card game?
Yeah, I did know that. When I went to New York, I found a bunch of new packs and stuff like that, and bought them because I'm a
What are
fucking
they
loser.
making
But
these games for?
I don't know, because I've never seen anyone playing it ever.
Dude, me and you, let's start it up again. We're gonna let's just walk into White Knight Game Room one of these days with our fucking giant Final Fantasy trading cards and start playing it. We'll show
Okay,
up every Friday and we'll be like, hey, we're here to play Final Fantasy. And they'll be like,
okay. Dude, when I
we
move
don't do
home, I'll
that.
do that. I'll do that every Friday. We're there. We're the Final Fantasy guys.
They're like, we don't do that. And we're like, we
Yeah,
do, buddy.
yeah. You do now. You do now. We're in the house. We're fucking grown ass men. We're fucking here playing the Final Fantasy trading card game that we've played once,
Yeah.
and it was really a demo. We didn't actually play. And yeah, we're here. Deal with it. What's up?
You beat my ass in that demo, didn't you?
I did. I
That's what I
beat your
thought.
hand. Yeah, it was
By
great.
the way, there's a really fun card game in Rebirth.
Oh, awesome! I love. I'm starting to love these card games in video games. I spent hours playing Gwent.
Dude, I spent hours playing the Trails of Cold Steel 4 one. Or
Oh,
maybe it's the
fucking
3 one.
Blade.
Oh, dude, I was so in on that, dude. I was having so much fun. I didn't like the Cold Steel 2 one. There was a Cold Steel 2 one that I thought was a little
Yeah,
lame, but the Cold Steel 3 and 4 one, I was all in on that shit,
yeah.
dude.
You know where they got me? In 9, I used to play Terra Master all the fucking time. Like, that was my
Oh,
game.
okay.
Yeah, yeah. But I like Gwent. I think it's Gwent or it's Hearthstone. No, it's Gwent. It's Gwent. Yeah, Gwent and Witcher, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I was playing Gwent for like a minute, and I was like, okay, we got to move on here. So, if is there a way to get Gwent on like my tablet or something?
Yeah, I think so. There was a Gwent digital game they made.
Oh man, that's that. You know what? Let's stay away from that. You know what other game got me? Marvel Snap for a while. I used to love Marvel Snap
That's so weird, dude. You held on to the comic book thing for so long.
because I love comic books. Like, it's hard to
Not
let
anymore,
go of
dude.
the. Yeah, now I'm out. Like, they killed that fucking genre. Like,
You like what they used to be.
I stare at like my fucking Flash poster and my Justice League poster and fucking like, you're a fucking loser, dude. Like,
Disgusted.
yeah, it hurts. It hurts. They just really growing up is just watching things that you love die. Like, it's that's what it is. It sucks.
It didn't used to be that way. It started this way when they started fucking making everything politics, dude.
Yeah, it's
That's
hard.
what killed comic books. They started making it about the political message instead of the actual comic book. It's like, fuck.
Yeah.
And then people are like,
So,
oh, so you tell me there was never politics in comic books? Like, no, there was. It just wasn't the whole fucking purpose of the comic book, dude.
correct. Yeah. People, you didn't read your comic book, and then like when you get done with it, you're pissed off. You're just like,
Yeah.
ugh.
You're so
Right.
fucking
That's not why I'm
stupid.
here. So last thing in the like news topics, not that this is shocking, but Skull and Bones dead on its ass. Even though Ubisoft says it had record engagement but failed to announce like what the numbers was.
Yeah. I don't know.
How like what are
I
we
have no
shocked?
opinions on this.
No,
No.
neither do I. Like, this is stupid, but the only reason I put it in there because like this game was in what, a 10-year development hell. Like, they announced it like right off.
At least, right?
Yeah, like they announced it like right after Black Flag. I feel like it was right around
Yeah.
that same time. They're like, oh, people really love the ship combat. Let's make a game that's all it is.
Yes.
And then like let's put it in development hell, and then let's have Sea of Thieves come out and people just play that. And then now it's time to come out, and like, okay, because like, full disclosure, I don't think people really fuck with Sea of Thieves like that. Like, I know people love it, but like,
Yeah.
I don't think it's like huge.
I agree.
So yeah, little morsel on Ubisoft. Stop fucking killing your IP, it would be soft. So, main topic of our show here. I recently I was watching some LSM stuff, and I rewatched the Jaffe Cross Moriarty episode.
It's a good one.
Yeah, which sometimes Jaffe's a little hard to listen to because I feel like he just cuts everyone off and doesn't let everyone talk, which is a
Yeah,
little
Jaffe's
annoying.
fucking annoying.
Yeah,
Jaffe's. I don't like David Jaffe.
yeah. I used to, then like he kept doing that stuff, and like I'm like, that's really annoying. Like, dude, why don't you ever shut the fuck up? Like, I don't really
Yeah,
understand like why. I feel like do you think they think he's hard to work with?
I don't know.
Yeah, because
I have
it sometimes reads like where they're trying to say something, he just won't shut up.
Yeah. I mean,
Um,
I would find that fucking super annoying, but I don't know how they
yeah.
feel.
But yeah, I watched that episode and he starts talking about like Kind of Funny, and he pointed out, he's like, yeah, when Greg Miller put out a tweet asking for honest feedback, I told them they were very vanilla. I was like, huh. Not that I disagreed, but I went and just like listened to some of their stuff now. Um, and I don't know. I guess we should preface this, like, you and I left in the divorce with Colin, like we were out.
Right.
But
Because we're loyal motherfuckers. We're
right.
not like dishonest little cunts.
Yes. And I mean, if you don't know the Kind of Funny LS, I guess Colin, I wouldn't say LS, Colin Kind of Funny versus LSM, but what happened with Colin, he put out a tweet on the National Women's Day or Day Without, I don't know what the fuck it was exactly, but he said, silence, a day without a woman, like a stupid dumb joke. And the fucking games media, the woke left games media fucking ran with it, which is wild. So there was all this heat, and then fucking Greg Miller didn't defend him, and Tim Geddes was like, use that to, basically be a snake in the grass, be like, oh, that's not the kind of company I want. And essentially, it got so bad for Colin that he eventually said, you know what, this is better off if I just leave, sell my shares, and go do my own thing. And he's been successful, so good on him. And Kind of Funny, they just kind of, in my echo chamber, they just went away. Like they never stopped making content. Like they're a big channel, but they went away for us. Like we just didn't fuck with Kind of Funny content at all. We didn't listen to it, didn't hear about it, unfollow on Twitter. Like I think the only one I still follow on Twitter might be Nick Scarpino, because I always thought he was funny. But other than that,
Nick's cool.
Yeah, I like Nick. So I went back, and after hearing Jaffe's comment, and then went back and listened to some of the most recent LSM stuff, or not LSM, Kind of Funny stuff. And I agree with him, man. Like, it's very vanilla, very like, there's a whole episode of Kind of Funny, where they're begging you to vote for Joe Biden. Like, Greg Miller is on the fucking podcast. He's like, as a favor to me, vote for Joe Biden. Like, he's just like, literally, the title of the podcast is "Please vote for Joe Biden."
Yeah, I mean people eat that shit up when, I don't know, in their fucking echo chamber. They just want to hear things that they agree with over and over and over again.
Yeah, and so it's like that's crazy. Like, I don't know. I just would never imagine making a podcast telling you who you should vote for as a favor to your boy Greg. You do him a favor, do him a solid.
Yeah.
And then I listened to the episode where he was talking about I guess somebody I think his wife's mother died, and then his dog died. So like, it was cool to hear him open up, but like, listening to Tim interview him, like, he's such a pretentious little shit.
Tim,
I don't like him. I never did like him, but like,
I forget the term for it, but like,
a narcissist.
Tim just rides on the coattails of Greg. He always has.
Yeah.
That's it. That's his whole thing. He rides on Greg's coattails.
I just feel like I don't know, like, he just comes off as so disingenuous, like, when he says stuff. And then like, when Colin, I don't know if you know what Side Scrollers is, that podcast.
Yeah.
Colin was on it, and he was talking about when it was time to leave Kind of Funny, and then Craig was like, "Oh, do you mean Tim?" Like, he just put it out there. And Colin told that story where Tim basically said, like, "Yo, you make Greg unhappy, you shouldn't come." Like, Tim Geddes didn't want him there to begin with.
Right.
Which is crazy. And then he made the comment like, "Yo, a conversation with Colin wouldn't have been as successful as a conversation with Tim."
Right.
Which, like, what a fucking arrogant fucking prick.
No one even fucking likes Tim Geddes. Like, Tim Geddes is an irrelevant little cunt. The only reason Tim Geddes has a career at all is because he found himself as a friend with Nick Scarpino. That's it, dude.
Yeah.
That's it. And it's crazy listening, because like, I listened to the first, I don't know, 120 episodes or 200 episodes of Game Over Greggy show before they switched to the Kind of Funny show with, and whatever. But
I used to listen to it all the time, man.
Yeah. listening to Tim, he's always been like this. He's always been the dude that just wants attention. And it's like,
Yeah.
dude, you are the most insufferable little cunt. And I really hope that somewhere along the line, someone kicked your ass because he fucking needed it. Like, I don't know, dude.
Yeah.
Like that whole situation was so infuriating for me when it happened to Colin, because I would never in a million years abandon one of you guys to that
No,
kind of
never.
fate.
Fuck no.
It would never
we'll
happen.
go together,
I would fucking throw my whole career away to stick up for my friends, and it wouldn't even be like a thought. I wouldn't even have to think about it.
Right.
But
I feel the same way.
Greg fucking threw Colin under the bus and betrayed him so hard that and like that, to the point where like I don't trust anybody who still fucks with Greg, right? Like,
Yeah.
like if you like still associate with a man who would act like that, fuck off. You know, that's how I feel.
Yeah, no,
Because
it's wild because like, dude, he like literally they lived together for fucking years. Like they were
they were
fucking
best friends. They were
yeah,
best
and then
friends.
like this fucking and again we don't know what went on in the background as far as like what, because Colin does say he was like, you know, he wasn't in a good spot, so maybe Colin was just fucking insufferable at that point and he was over it. But like even so, like somebody you've been friends with that long, who's been a part of your life, he fucking like you lived with him when you survived cancer, dude. Like you know what I
He
mean? Like
nuked his
but
career.
this is
Did Greg?
but this is the same dude who you remember that girl he was with, Steimer, like remember like who like literally supported him through cancer and they ended up like if you're with a girl who supports you surviving fucking cancer and then you break the fuck up, that's wild to
Yeah.
me.
That's
So
when
I
I
thought,
realized
yeah,
Greg was
wow,
fake as fuck. And Jaffe says that Greg
yeah,
is a
he's like
completely
it's
different
switch for
person
him.
on camera. Yeah, and
Yeah,
it's like, all right, well, that's who it is, I guess. I don't know. Um, but yeah, I found that whole thing disgusting. I mean, I know what it's like to have a friend stab you in the back, and
oh,
I was
a
not about
motherfucker.
that. I was
You
not
know who
about
you are,
that. Um,
Steve.
I was not about that, and I watched that happen, and I was like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. And you know what? Here's what I will say. It is so painfully obvious that Colin was the content of that show.
Yeah,
Because Colin went on and made a show that is just as good and it feels just like the old show. And Greg has been unable to do that. His show is fucking lame. It is vanilla. It is just a hype show.
yeah,
And he is nothing without Colin, dude. The only reason Beyond got so big is because of Colin Moriarty. And that is evident because no one gives a fuck about Beyond or the Kind of Funny Games cast or PS I Love You XOXO. And
yeah.
by the way, scumbag move to revive PS I Love You XOXO right after
Right.
Sacred Symbols came out. Scumbag
Mhm.
move.
Yeah, because they knew what was up, and
Yeah.
here's the wild part too, because IGN, who like they I guess at some point they celebrated like Podcast Beyond, and like they didn't even mention Colin like
No.
at all.
No.
And I guess he's been told at some points that he's not welcome at the IGN office. Like, what the fuck, dude?
Yeah.
Like, are you kidding? Like,
That was IGN's golden era, by the way, when Colin was there. So why
yeah,
don't you take it the fuck easy?
yeah. I'm just like looking at like how is that even like that's not even professional. Like, if you look at that, like, so somebody who built your like it's not like Colin committed a fucking rape. It's not like fucking Colin was Vincent Genito, like right, like.
Right.
Which that's another anyway. I don't want to talk about him, but
Fuck that guy too.
or he's not like Marty Sleva, who's like a known scumbag who apparently got clean at some point. So you know, good on you for I guess not doing drugs and whatever you were doing that you got sober. So good on you, but I still
Yeah, I
think you're a
mean, no
scumbag.
one really knows what went on with Marty. So that I don't want to talk about that because
Yeah,
I don't know what happened with him, and I'm waiting for him to tell his story. But something weird happened with Marty, right? Something
yeah, but
happened.
I'm just pointing out that like the rumors are that it was drug related, but there also are rumors that like he was a known scumbag. So, and I've seen him be a scumbag on Twitter. So that back in
Sure,
the day.
sure.
You know, so you know, I'm gonna call a spade. But back to the kind of funny stuff. So then I listened to they did a movie review of Dune, and I honestly, I'll be honest, I enjoyed listening to. I like Nick. I think I always will
Sure.
like Nick. He's a smart guy. I
Yeah.
respect his opinion on movies. Kevin, he's there. But then like the minute Tim speaks, I get annoyed. He's on everything. Like he's on like he's like
He's supposed to be the center of attention. That's all.
yeah. I'm like, dude, like
Tim
I don't
sucks.
know. Yeah,
Tim sucks.
he's like literally the worst part of Kind of Funny, and like you know, it sucks. Like, you know, I sound like a hater right now, which
I am.
whatever. But
I'm a hater. I hate kind of
yeah,
funny.
dude, I just don't like. I don't like his content. Like I said, it's very vanilla. It's very PC. Everyone agrees with everything. They all like they talk on that fucking vote for Joe Biden episode. They were like, oh yeah, we skew liberal and rightfully so, and blah 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 blah. Liberal. Like, oh my,
Yeah.
like so you guys
Greg
all
fucking didn't used to, did he?
no, not at
No.
all.
Not until he decided he wanted to be part of the echo chamber.
Yeah, and it's just all for fucking. It's all for just appearances and posturing.
Yeah. It's
Sometimes
just
these guys
annoying.
speak, and I don't think they believe half the shit they
I
say.
don't believe anything they say. It's all for fucking.
And
It's
then,
all
yeah.
for like appearances, dude. It's
and then,
crazy.
and then, like I watched Colin's last Game Over Greggy show or whatever the fuck it was. They are so full of shit on that podcast on that
Oh
show.
yeah.
All right, so the last Game Over Greggy show that had Colin on it, um, they were just like wildly full of shit. But they were talking about like, oh, it'll be fine. We'll fucking cross. You will have crossovers, all this shit. I'm like, dude, like, how full of shit could you be? Like, maybe
Oh
like, I
yeah.
don't know. Maybe at the time he thought that was genuinely gonna happen, but like, I thought it was very obvious that like that wasn't gonna happen at all. Like, they were done, and it's just like, I don't know, man.
I think they were trying to save their brand. I think they were really worried about it.
Mm-hmm.
Greg has openly said that like he was like crying at night into Jen's lap, like worried about the fate of his company and whatnot, and like
Because of that.
yeah, because Colin leaving. I mean, Colin was like the
Oh
clearly the other half of Kind of Funny, right? Like
yeah,
people were watching it for Greg and Colin.
yeah.
That was the deal.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's why they bullshitted about Colin. I mean, they clearly had no intentions of bringing Colin ever back. I mean, and that's clear because Colin has reached out to Greg so many times over the years, and Greg has not
Yeah,
really fucked with him at all.
yeah, hasn't really reciprocated, which, you know, again, that's so shitty. Like, if you're gonna just be done with somebody, then like tell them the fuck, like, yo, we're fucking done. Like, don't,
Which
like,
I was surprised because Colin said before all that, Andrew Goldfarb told him that like he's done with him before
yeah,
all that, and I was like, damn, that's pretty rough.
that's crazy because they were buddies for a while too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Colin said they used to go out to dinner all the time, and then Goldfarb would slowly started backing away, and eventually like Goldfarb just sent him a message being like, I don't want to be your friend anymore.
That's fucked up. Yeah,
Yeah, I was thinking too. Like that is extremely fucked up. That's brutal.
yeah, and I just feel sometimes I like feel for him because like imagine being in an industry where like literally the way you view your views politically like influence your job. So like,
Mm-hmm.
you know, like companies won't even like fuck with you because like their fucking marketing manager hates you or their yeah, like how professional is that? Again, like one of the biggest PlayStation coverage like doesn't have access to PlayStation because like Sony PR fucking hates Colin. It's like literally they hate Colin. That's it.
But I love that too because
I
no matter
know.
how much they hate him, they can't escape him, right? Like
No, because he
they like they said multiple times, they know Sony PR listens to every single episode of that show because they have to. And it's like, good.
yeah.
Fuck them. They literally cannot escape him because he is the biggest PlayStation podcast in the world.
Yeah,
By a mile. And it's like,
and
hell yeah.
I think it's great because like if we were to for some reason ever pop like and become huge, which again, I feel like we would take the same approach where I wouldn't want early access to games. Like I would just pay for the games and we just say what we want to say because like I never want to be in the position where like you watch Kind of Funny stuff. It's so fucking filled to the goddamn gills with fucking ads and they're covering this and this is sponsored by Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. So like literally they'll never say anything negative about that game if they
Right.
had to. And it's just very disingenuous and like I don't know. I just get that whole fake vibe. Like they're even their set like they started in a spare bedroom and that's kind of what everyone liked. It was this guerrilla style like um show, and then even when they went to their first studio when they were doing like the live show every day, that was like Colin's idea, like let's be live on Twitch every day.
Right.
And then they just like fucking I don't know, it's sad. Kind of Funny is a husk of what it used to be because like I used to really like their content, but that was because of mostly Colin and Nick, and I liked Greg at the time too. I just really never liked Tim, and it
Right.
just sucks to see like the dude you hate the most like literally featured in fucking everything.
He like runs the whole show. He's like there the whole thing now.
Well, yeah,
But
and then they turned into
you
like a
know
fucking
he
Rooster Teeth channel too because of like that shit. They
yeah,
were like,
and
remember they
Tim is like super unlikable because no matter how much content he's in, no matter how long they've been around, Tim has never gotten any more popular.
no,
And by the way, Kind of Funny has never gotten any more popular.
no.
Kind of Funny stagnated when Colin left, and and according to him, the numbers haven't even been close to what they used to pull. So
Uh-huh.
you know
That
that goes
says something when you
it
do
says a lot.
dirty business, dude. When you do dirty business, like people know, like people don't like that shit.
Yeah, it says a lot.
Yeah. And then even like I think Colin said it on one of the other shows. Like Greg, like did you know like Greg's like hosting gigs? Like the money used to go straight into Kind of Funny. So like he was essentially like just funneling money in here, and then like they had the audacity to be like, oh. Colin, you should take less money. It should reflect, like Tim said this, it should reflect the amount of work you do here. I'm like, dude, like he's like way bigger than you'll ever be. Like, what the
Yeah,
fuck?
I don't know. Tim's just like a fucking scumbag who thinks he's like hot shit and
Yeah,
classic California spoiled kid, dude.
yeah, I don't like him. I don't know, something about him. I disloyalty and just being a snake in the grass, and like I don't know. I just saw it sucks that Colin let him like kind of bully him for as long as he did, and like
Yeah,
was like fucking believing that shit. Um, so any more closing thoughts on Kind of Funny before we move on
they
to
all need to
his
catch
underbelly?
hands. I'll I'll
I
I'll
agree.
I'll square up with them in one night. Every single one of them. Mortal
Yeah, I don't think
Kombat Battle Royale style.
I don't think that would be much of a challenge to you. Although Nick does do some jujitsu, but you never know.
It's all right. Nick's old.
um, so moving on to the underbelly, we kind of talked about this in a way. So do you remember a lot of the Sony era exclusives?
What do you mean Sony era
Or
exclusives?
I mean PS2 era, excuse me.
Oh, a few of them. I mean, most of the games coming out on PS2 were exclusive back then. Like,
Yeah,
I mean, not
like the
first
first
party,
party
but
stuff. Yeah.
oh,
So
I
like,
mean, nah.
so do you remember like a game like The Getaway?
I remember the Getaway. I don't have catalog knowledge in my head of what was a first party exclusive from back then.
Okay,
Right?
so like The Getaway was one.
Okay.
And I played that the other day, and it's basically I don't know how familiar you are with like Guy Ritchie films or even like a movie like Snatch or
I know.
so it's like it's almost like a British gangster film, this game.
Okay.
And when I played it as a kid, I fucking hated this game because I'm like, oh, this just wants to be like GTA and it's just not as good, and like fucking young Pedro was a fucking idiot, like 12
Okay.
13-year-old fucking idiot. So I go back and play this recently. I think I played it like maybe a week ago, and I'm playing this. I'm like, oh, this is fucking Lock, Stock, Smoking Aces, and this is Snatch. Like this is a Guy Ritchie film in a video game. I'm like, how doesn't anyone talk about this anymore? Because this game's fucking awesome. Like, so I'm playing it, and just it's just crazy. Some of the stuff they put in, like that, this game has like it's an open or kind of an open world and has licensed cars. Like
That's pretty
so,
cool.
yeah, so you're like in an open world in London, which here in the real world we drive on the right side of the road, and then they
Hmm.
got me all fucked up. I was wrecking all the time because I'm like, this isn't the way traffic is supposed to go. But yeah, so you're in London, and it just starts off with like your fucking wife getting killed and your kid getting kidnapped, and then you got this one gangster's like, you're gonna do all this shit for me, and the first thing he makes you go do is you go back to your old gang, kill everybody, blow up the fucking the cafe they're at, and it's just basically this fever pitch of just Mark Hammond doing fucked up thing after fucked up thing because this guy's making him, otherwise he's gonna kill his kid, and just like the British or English style dialogues where they kind of it's like very fast paced the way they talk, and just the way they react to stuff. There's one scene where he's like they're like beating him up trying to get him to listen. And the guy's like, eyebrows, he's not fucking listening, make him fucking listen. This guy just socks him in the head, like he just knows to do that. Like, I don't know, it's just a real fun game. Another game that was first party, remember Dark Cloud?
I love Square Cloud.
Oh man, fucking Dark Cloud is great. Another one, let's see, Getaway 2, which is a sequel like to the first Getaway nobody really talks about. Jack and Daxter, that series. uh Ratchet and Clank got its start there. On PS2. Do you remember then that PS2 when the Siphon Filter series kind of died?
To me, Siphon Filter never died. Right?
Were you a Siphon Filter guy?
Oh yeah, I was a Siphon Filter
Oh,
guy.
what's your favorite one? I don't think we've ever talked about Siphon Filter.
My favorite one is Siphon Filter 3.
I never played
Siphon
three. I never played
Siphon
three.
Filter 3 had a really cool multiplayer, split screen
Yeah.
multiplayer in it, and you would run around and it was a versus mode, and you could like fight your buddies in Siphon Filter 3. I loved it. It was great.
Yeah, see, I played the first. I played Siphon Filter 1, Siphon Filter 2, and never played 3.
Yeah,
And then
I
I
love the
played.
taser in those games.
Yeah, you
The
could like
long
roast a
distance.
guy until he fucking
Yeah,
catches on fire.
they were wild, dude. I love Siphon Filter. Me and my dad used to play Siphon Filter all the time.
Okay. I didn't play any of the PS2 era ones because I felt like that series just fell the fuck off.
Yeah, I
Like,
think there was the trilogy, and then they made crappy games. That was it.
um, so do you? What is that a beer there?
I've been
Is that a
drinking
Blue
beer this whole
Moon?
episode. Yeah.
I thought it was a craft beer, but then I realized it was a Blue Moon. I was like,
Well,
hey,
the first one I had was Dewclaw Brewing's Sour Me.
okay.
And then I had a Blue Moon, and then I just did my third Blue Moon.
Nice. I'm glad to see you back on the sauce, buddy. I've been off the sauce since I think the last time I was at your place, to be honest. But
I don't drink much, but I got a bunch of beer for Rebirth to celebrate last night. I didn't drink it all, so now I got to drink it.
I respect that. I respect that a lot. Other ones, and this will get to the other part of the underbelly. I just will talk about it now. Do you feel like during this era, not that these games were exclusive, but I feel like the PS2 era was like Rockstar's like heyday. Like that was the fucking wheelhouse to me. I understand GTA 5 is huge and Red Dead was huge too, but I feel like back in the day, PS2 Xbox era, Rockstar, when we were getting games like the first two Max Paynes were fucking great.
Yeah,
I really liked Manhunt. You know what I didn't realize though, Manhunt's like a fucking snuff film, basically.
I guess. Yeah. I
Yeah,
mean,
it's literally a comment on like the snuff film industry, which I didn't realize that until I watched like a documentary on it, and then like I went back and played it on an emulator, and I was like, "What the fuck? Like how? Like this is nuts."
Manhunt 2 famously got pulled off of shelves at one
Yeah,
point because it got changed to adult only, and then they put it back to M. Um, but I much preferred the PS2 era at Rockstar. They were a little more gritty, a little more experimentational. I'll tell you this: I liked it when it first came out. I fucking hate GTA 5. I hate people that play GTA 5. Grow up, all right? Get over it. Stop playing this game. Let it go.
yeah.
Same way I feel about
I'm a GTA
sa-
4 guy.
same way I feel about people who play fucking Smash Brothers Melee. Get over it. You know.
Dude, I haven't touched Melee. Oh, I have Melee. It's probably still my favorite one, but I haven't played Melee in probably 10 years.
There's
So
a new one. It's not the same for Street Fighter, though,
no,
right?
no,
Because
no,
like
no, no.
I feel like Street Fighter peaked with like Alpha 3. Is that fair? Or
Yeah,
like Third Strike, something like that.
yeah.
One
I would
of
say
those
Third
games.
Strike. I would say Third Strike. Yeah.
And then like it never really reached that ever again.
No.
So
Like I
that
think
makes
yeah,
sense.
good. So I think like so a lot of people go Street Fighter 2 as like their pinnacle, like a lot of old heads. But since we're a little bit younger, we're Third Strike guys. Most of us are Third Strike guys. I don't know if you've ever played Street Fighter Third Strike?
Yeah.
You had to have, yeah. Yeah, most of us are Third Strike guys
It's
that are
hard
our
as
age.
fuck.
Yeah, I lied. I know. It was beautiful. Parrying.
It's hard as fuck, dude. But
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. Like, and then I feel like Street Fighter 4 seemed a little easier, a little less complicated,
Yeah, they simplified it.
Yeah. So I can see why people still play Third Strike. But like Smash Brothers Melee, get over it, dude. Ultimate's out. Go play
Don't they
Ultimate.
still play Melee at Evo? Like, I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure it's still. Oh my god.
They all bring their own controllers like fucking nerds.
Dude,
Smash Brothers.
did I show you the documentary of like a dude who got caught cheating in Smash Brothers? Where
No.
like it happened like in Ohio. He was at like some rando tournament and like they had this like plan in place. They're like, "Yo, come over, we'll play Smash." And then like halfway through, he would bring his own system. He modded his console to like give his player specific parameters.
Oh, you told me about this.
Yeah, it's nuts. And they're like, they set them up. Yo, let's all go to Sheets and get food. So they all get food, and then they like, while some of them went to go get food, they fucking like examined this system and found out he was
Yeah.
fucking hacking.
Yeah, you told me about this. Forgot
Yeah,
about it.
like, That's some fucking underbelly type fucking shit that goes on in the retro gaming community, because like, and I guess, and the fighting game community, because that's not the first time that's happened. But yeah, back to Rockstar though. Like that was when we got Midnight Club. That was when we got
Good shit.
yeah, and it just like, what do you think? I mean, I think it's, I guess, obvious what happened if you really look at it. As far like, they just, GTA became so goddamn big. Like, why make anything else? I feel like they don't make anything anymore. It's GTA and Red Dead.
Yeah. Red Dead's like a passion project. It doesn't even need to exist. GTA is where they make all their money, and that's fine. Whatever. GTA is huge. I wish. I don't know. I think GTA 6 is gonna be fucking lame too. I'm over GTA, dude. I don't give a shit about
I never
GTA
played five.
anymore.
Yeah.
5 is fine. It's like fine. It's just a
I
modern
lo-
day GTA.
I liked four a lot. Four is my favorite one.
I don't think 5
GTA.
innovated on anything. Like,
No, I just feel like it was just more of the same. Like,
yeah, it looked prettier, but barely. So,
and I think what made like GTA Online being so popular was like people streaming it, and because I remember, even like, you remember Funhouse, like back in their heyday.
no, I never watched them.
Yeah, they used to their big thing was they would stream GTA all the time. Like that was what they would do. They would have like these GTA streams. That was back when Rooster Teeth used to be likable, and then fucking whoa. Remember, like, what happened to them?
I don't know.
Fuck.
They got corporatized and liberal. That's what happened.
Yeah, they fell hard.
Guys there.
But then a lot of their guys did some scumbag shit though, like Adam Kovic, and then that other guy who like debatably should be in jail, like messaging minors and shit. But yeah, cheating
Speaking
on
of
their
Smash
wives
Brothers
and stuff.
community, that was a big deal with the Smash Brothers community, right? Ton of more
Yeah,
pedophiles.
what the fuck was that?
Yeah,
Like, I don't
bunch
know.
of
You
weirdos.
also know where I recently found out pedophiles like populate Roblox a lot, which is weird. I mean, well,
No, it's not. What
I
do
guess
you?
not that weird, but like it's strange that like these popular games just like populate or attract weirdos. Like
I don't think
like,
that's that weird. I mean, where are you gonna go to get kids? Like, if there was a fighting game, a competitive fighting game, where a bunch of pedophiles were gonna play it, it was gonna be Smash Brothers, right? Like that was.
yeah.
They're not playing Street Fighter or Mortal Kombat. They're gonna play Smash Brothers.
I guess we got to look at the percentage of pedophiles that are gamers.
Yeah.
Somebody get that statistic ASAP. Um, other stuff with Rockstar though. Like, do you ever play The Warriors?
No, I never played that game. I watched the
Oh
movie. The
man,
movie's good.
movie's good. The game's, I mean, not the game's not better, but the game's like almost like a prequel.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's basically like a beat 'em up, like a classic beat 'em up, like you would think you would get from Sega, but of good quality at that time, because that was the dark ages for Sega. But
Warriors,
yeah,
come
he's
out
gonna
and
come out and
play.
play. I love that movie.
It's a good movie.
I there was one time I was seeing a girl who came over and we watched The Warriors, and that's not a movie you put on for people who like don't appreciate cinema. Because like they were watching, they're like, I don't understand a fucking thing that's happening, but they did laugh when, like, remember the gang that's just in baseball attire. I forget the name of that gang. They're just like basically in like Yankee uniforms.
Barely, yeah, I remember them. I remember when they pick up that random girl from a rival street gang, and
Yeah,
she's with them the rest of the movie, and it's like, what the fuck?
yeah. I mean, that movie definitely has some problems, but even in the beginning, can you dig it? Then he gets shot.
Yeah, because you think he's gonna be like the main character, and then he gets
Yeah,
blasted.
and it's just fucking capped right in the fucking beginning. But then some of the PS2 stuff was crazy though. Like, do you feel like, I feel like this was the era of like so much fucking licensed garbage that would come out.
Yeah,
Like, I feel like this was the era of bad licensed games, like comically bad ones. Like, you ever play Batman Vengeance?
no,
So bad, so fucking bad. What was another one? A couple of the Lord of the Rings games were fucking ass, minus the one that's like basically Final Fantasy X.
I mean, like the co-op ones are really good. Like I played the Two Towers a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Or no, I played Return of the King a lot. I never played the Two Towers. Return of the King.
There was one that was like an RPG, and then there was one that was a beat 'em up, and there was one that was really bad. I remember playing like the Rocky games; they were fucking terrible.
I remember. I think it was Fight Night, right? Was Fight Night great? Was that the
Yeah,
really good boxing game?
yeah, Fight Night. Yeah, those were good. Or remember you play Def Jam, like the last one,
I never
where it
played
was
Death
basic.
Trap.
it was basic. It was such a weird concept for a game, but it was basically if you played like WrestleMania 2000, like the N64 WrestleMania games. It was basically that same company, Aki, did Def Jam games, and so it's like it's just fucking wild. Like you have all these
What I
Def
played
Jam
on
rappers.
PS2 a lot was like Dark Cloud 2, Final
Yeah,
Fantasy 10, Kingdom Hearts 2. I remember playing a lot. The GTA, 3, Vice City, and San Andreas.
shout out Hot Coffee Mod,
Heroes of Might and Magic. Um, what else did I play on PS2 a lot? I don't know.
Champions of Norath.
No, never didn't have friends,
Mm.
Pedro. Didn't have friends. So you gotta remember that. Lived in the middle of nowhere. So I was a big single player guy. There was this really cool game on PS2 called Eve of Extinction. Have you ever played that?
Mm-mm.
It's
I
like an
never heard of
action
that.
RPG. It's an action RPG. It's pretty cool looking. Dude's got a lightsaber, runs around. Chaos Legion. Remember Chaos Legion?
Yeah, that was a good
That
one.
game's that game's pretty sweet. Um, Never understood Chaos Legion. It was
No,
so
neither did I.
weird, dude. That game
Weird
was so
game.
fucking weird.
Yeah, weird game. Remember that was when Devil May Cry got hot.
Oh yeah, dude, Devil May Cry is so good, so
Yeah,
good.
yeah. Devil May Cry was great. I remember playing Killzone and hating it.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah,
It's funny because I beat Killzone 1 and 2. Couldn't tell you a single thing about those games.
I beat two. I beat 2 and 3, and basically Hellgas, kill Hellgas, blow up Planet Helgen. Good
I
stuff.
remember you killed like the main guy at the end of 2. That's what I
Yes,
remember. There was like some
correct.
sort of bomb that went off
Yeah,
that you
and
had
you
to escape.
fucking wipe. Yeah, and then like 3 is like the aftermath, and then like Killzone Shadowfall had that like crazy ending.
That ending's bullshit, dude. That ending sucks. And there's like the
Yeah,
really ambiguous like secret mission at the end too.
yeah,
Remember
and then
that?
and then they just stopped. Like Killzone's dead now. Thank you, Horizon. Killzone's dead. Appreciate it. Uh,
Not worth it.
no, I agree. I'm definitely because I was definitely more of a Killzone guy than I am a Horizon guy. Other games too. Like that was the era of like PS2 just couldn't get like decent shooters like FPSs. I felt
Still
like
can't.
yeah, that's probably yeah. Because I remember like was it Killzone came out, nobody liked it. Like I feel like the reception of Killzone wasn't great. I don't remember Killzone being like a hot fucking game.
No, I don't remember that either.
But then they would get like these weird third party games. Like remember like Dark Watch and fucking
Yeah.
Black and
Never played Black.
everyone says Black is good, but I refuse to play that on PS2. Like if I go for a shooter, I'm gonna play it on Xbox. Like I feel like the OG Xbox was like the shooter console.
The OG Xbox was my Morrowind machine. That's what I played a lot of Morrowind on.
No, you know what I played on OG Xbox? Deus Ex. That was for me. That
Ooh.
was like Invisible War, dude. Ho ho ho, baby. dude, the Xbox and I guess we're getting into the weed, but I just think it's fun to go down memory lane. Like the Xbox had so many like, and I think this is wide knowledge. Like so many of the bangers where I had a PS2, but then like when I got an Xbox, I was an Xbox guy. So like because think like I at first like, and this was before I was even a Halo fan. Like I really didn't like Halo like that. But then like I played Halo, then Halo 2 came out, which is a banger. Then we had Thief.
Mm.
Those
Oh,
Deadly
yeah.
Shadows, baby.
Nope, didn't play either of those games.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, Thief, Deus Ex, then KOTOR.
I played KOTOR on PC. That's where I played KOTOR.
See, I played KOTOR on my Xbox, and that was the one. And then trying to think of the Fable, like the first Fable came
Oh yeah,
out.
I love Fable. It's one of my favorite games
Yeah.
of all time.
Then Jade Empire. Like we were just getting exclusive wise. I don't think Microsoft will ever fucking touch what they had with the OG Xbox. You had just bangers everywhere. Mech Assault was great.
Yep.
I think Tao Fang, a game a lot of people sleep on, which was done by the original creator of MK. Great fucking game, dude. Great fucking game. So there's like I don't know that I feel like that was like I don't know maybe like I think I'm being a little bit facetious here, but because I think if you look at it objectively, I guess you can say the 360 was like the biggest threat to Sony.
Yeah.
But like I feel like OG Xbox had the bangers. Like if you just look at the IP they had, and how many great games were on it, like Project Gotham Racing, Forza. Uh, that's when they had like their own NFL games, which were their sports games were great. NFL Fever, NHL. I think it's I forget what the fuck the NHL Rivals, Inside Drive. Like their sports games were great. Amped Snowboarding. I'm trying to think anything else I can think of. Just there were so many things. Xbox Live, like I remember watching like the old Xbox Live commercials and being like, "Hype!" Like, yeah, I want Xbox Live so bad. I just want to get
No,
online.
I wasn't about it because I had dial up internet.
Yeah. So I remember like when I first got Xbox Live and you're sitting there fucking talking a bunch of shit in a Halo lobby, like, saying things we will not repeat here, but saying some shit. Like if you I feel like if you were online and like from 2002 to basically 2010, like you got thick skin.
I was part of the Xbox 360.
Yeah. But so you've had people say wild shit to you in a lobby, right?
Yeah, yeah. I played
Yeah.
Halo a lot on Xbox Live.
Yeah, so like and if you were on Halo or even later back in the day COD, like some of the shit that was said in those lobbies, like probably would break people now. Because that was when there was no accountability. You really couldn't report anybody, especially in like PSN, dude.
Yeah.
I remember I was playing with Call of Duty 4 and we were doing, it was sabotage. And then we won, and somebody fucking on the other team yells out, "Motherfucker, what's your address? I'm gonna mail you a bomb!" Like, just fucking,
My God.
just the wildest shit. Or you would go on and instantly your mother was gonna get made fun of. They were definitely gonna call you something racist or make fun of you for whatever your sexual preference they said was gonna be. Like it was just a different era, man. And I just feel I don't know. We've talked about eras of gaming all the time, but I just feel like that PS2, Xbox, even GameCube era probably might be one of my favorites, followed by like PS4.
Yeah.
Uh, but I just feel like we've lost that. Like gaming doesn't have that same luster to me anymore. And maybe because we've gotten older, we have like real jobs and responsibilities and ugh. But I just like aside from the occasional game that ironically is either from Square or Falcom, like nothing gets me fucking jazzed anymore. Nothing gets me fucking
Nothing's creative anymore. That's the problem, dude.
yeah.
Back then, things were creative. It's not us. We still love games. Like we love games arguably more than we did back then, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's not creative anymore. That's the thing. That's why like Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth is so exciting to me because they got Square finally is like back. It feels like when Conor McGregor beat Nate Diaz and he got on the mic, he's like, "Surprise, surprise, the king is back." That's how I
Yeah.
feel about Square Enix right now, right? They finally
Yeah.
sold off all their Western game bullshit, and they're like, you know what people like? And that actually, it's like they finally looked at their fucking books.
They're
They're
like,
like, oh
oh,
my
this
god,
sells.
wow, people like our fucking Japanese JRPGs. Oh, no shit, man. Like, are you like really? Like, wow, mind blown. People have been telling you that for the last 2 decades. Focus on your JRPGs. Final Fantasy is what makes you your fucking money, your bread and butter.
I agree. So, what do you think they're gonna do with Dragon Quest?
I don't know, probably kill it.
I love that 180. It's dead because you
Well,
see
no,
that
I
they're
think
gonna make it more edgy and darker. I'm like, I don't know if that's gonna fly. I don't know if that's gonna fly.
why?
Like I'm not a Dragon Quest guy. Like it
Sure.
just hasn't. But like I know when I get into a Dragon Quest game, I know I'm expecting the granddaddy. Like expecting it to be a certain way, certain quirks. It's just a certain structure. And if they change all that to make it like a dark, edgier Dragon Quest, I could see it going one of two ways. Either it's a
Okay.
hit or it's a fucking fat fucking turd, and we have and they have a problem on their hands. I don't think they've ever fucked up a Dragon Quest game that I'm aware of.
I don't think so. I was just joking, by the way, by them fucking it up. Dragon Quest is pretty hard to fuck up.
Yeah, but
But
like
I'm in, dude. I'll buy it. I fucking love Dragon Quest 11 or 10, 11.
11. Yeah, I really like Dragon Quest 11. I just feel like every time I want to get into it, something else comes out and it just goes right on the back burner.
I just bought the new set of Final Fantasy trading card games, by the way.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. So you're gonna build a deck.
I bought the trading card game 2024 anniversary collection set.
How much was that?
It has the Rebirth guys on it. I don't know. I bought a secondhand for $65.
That is what you're seeing, ladies and gentlemen. That is ADHD at its finest. Because that's a fucking random thing you just did. I mean, not that random, but I respect it. All right. So speaking of Square, now that we're talking about them, you and I recently went and saw Advent Children in theaters, and
Mhm.
we shared the same opinion that this movie doesn't make any fucking sense.
No, it doesn't. It does not.
And like I said, I enjoyed it. I still have I still have like a, I guess, guilty pleasure where I like Advent Children. I like watching it. It's fun. But am I ever going to show somebody Advent Children and be like, this is a fucking masterpiece? No, not happening. Like, that's not happening.
I was shocked. I was, because in my mind, I had a rough outline of how the plot went.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, like, because you don't remember a movie's plot line exactly, right? Like, you're like,
No.
all right, I remember like the big plot points, but the movie's gonna fill in when I watch it again because I haven't seen it forever. It didn't with Advent Children. No, like the
No.
movie made just as much sense as it did in my memory. I was like, oh wow,
Yeah.
okay, so I'm not really missing anything here. Like this is exactly how the movie goes.
Yeah, and it's
it
just
doesn't
all
make
over
any
the
sense.
place.
Yeah,
It's fun. There's a lot of fan service, which I can respect fan service in a movie.
yeah.
But yeah, as far as like an incoherent film, like you're definitely going to be found wanting with this film. And then so when we talked about it the other day, I made the comment that I would rank it below Spirits Within, and I would rank it below Kingsglaive as far as like functional, coherent movie plots.
Yeah.
Because I recently watched Spirits Within, and I'll be honest, I don't really get why it was called a Final Fantasy movie because it doesn't really feel like a Final Fantasy movie at
It's just a
all.
basic sci-fi movie, right?
Yeah, and again, as a basic sci-fi movie, like it's fine. Like it wasn't uninteresting. The cast was crazy though. It had, like Alec Baldwin, Steve Buscemi. Like it was a high profile cast. So it's like the VO is really good, and I think the CGI for its time, like I mean, it's definitely dated now, but I think it's like passable. Like it's fine.
That's the one thing I thought about Advent Children though, was that I thought the CGI held up really well.
Yeah, I would say that. But yeah, then you watch like Kingsglaive, which I guess I mean it's the newest one, so it's gonna look the best, but like obviously plot wise it's nowhere near, I don't think it's nowhere near as good as Spirits Within. Um but do you think, I don't it's probably not gonna happen, but do you think Square ever revisits doing movies? Remember Square
No.
Pictures died immediately after fucking Spirits Within?
No, but I think they don't need to. I think
Yeah.
their games look so good these days that
That they don't need to do
like
movies.
straight up, dude, there's almost no difference between the cutscenes in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth and the gameplay.
I love that.
Yeah, I mean, like it switches back and forth, and you can't even fucking tell, really.
Yeah.
The only time you can really tell is between like the very opening cutscene, which kind of gives you a recap of the last hour of Seven remake, which is kind of cool because, well, you saw, if you started the demo, you saw it because
Yeah.
it gives you like different points of view of like Cloud slashing the Buster Sword at one of the soldiers on the bike and stuff like that. Um, that's the only time I can tell where the cutscenes really like are different. But other than that, it's seamless. So they don't need to make movies anymore. Like they can just make games, and it's perfect.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just a fun. I like experimental Square though. Like, so I hope some form of that comes back, but just not where we just get fat fucking L's all the time. Like it's
Yeah.
dabble. Like I think again, I think like a movie like Final Fantasy Spirits Within. Like if they would have came out now and straight to Netflix or something like that or Prime, like I think that movie probably gets received a little bit differently. But just that it was a box office flop because again, how many people are going to go see like, oh, what do you want to do tonight, hun? Want to go see a movie? Yeah, let's go see Final Fantasy Spirits Within. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what
So
they're thinking
I
with
don't,
that.
yeah, and it's crazy because like that was like Sakaguchi's like last fucking thing he like left in shame for after that, which is like Jesus. And they like, you know what I mean? Sometimes you take an L, bud, but yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know. I just thought that's an interesting little era of Square, where they were producing movies. That's in that same era. We got like Crisis Core and Dirge of Cerberus, and even weird fucking games like the Bouncer and
So
fucking.
here's a weird thing about me. I loved the Dirge of Cerberus when I was a kid.
I could see that.
When I played Dirge of Cerberus, I thought it was sweet. I was like, oh, this is fucking dope. Now I
I
haven't
played
played
it
it
and
as an
fucking
adult.
hated it. I played it and hated it. I'm like, this gameplay sucks.
As a kid or as an adult?
As a kid, I had Dirge
Wow.
of Cerberus and fucking hated it.
Yeah, I thought it was sweet. I was like, damn, this is cool.
Yeah, no, it
Well,
was for me. It was a
here's the
Red.
crazy thing too. I had no idea who Vincent was because I didn't fucking get him my first playthrough Final Fantasy VII.
Okay. Oh, speaking of Final Fantasy VII, I could see why. If you play Final Fantasy VII blind, you'll 100% miss Yuffie. 100%.
Yeah. Well,
Because I gotta go.
you'll probably run into her, but you'll just do the battle wrong, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I played the part where you can get Yuffie and played through and didn't realize I could get her. I'm like, oh shit,
Yeah.
now I gotta go back.
And
So
you're almost 100% guaranteed to miss Vincent. If you're not reading a guide,
yeah,
there is like almost no chance, dude.
I don't think I remember ever getting Vincent in the original. Like he's just
Yeah,
in Shinra Manor. He's in the basement, right?
no, you have to get what is it? There's like a safe puzzle. And you have to figure out the code to the safe and input the thing within a certain amount of time. There's a time limit on it.
God, is it the
And
same that it was in Crisis Core? Remember that safe puzzle?
no. Well, let me see if I can. I'll try and look it up real quick. Vincent
Yeah,
safe.
yeah. Because I always thought you just go to Shinra Manor and get him. I just didn't realize like
He's
you had to do the
in
whole thing.
Shinra Manor, but it's not that easy.
He's in the basement like a fucking coffin, like a weirdo. But
Yeah. All right. Vincent lies behind
Lucrezia.
a sleeping coffin. Vincent lies sleeping in a coffin behind the door of Shinra Manor in Nibelheim. The letter is lying on the floor
Mhm.
in the near left corner of the foyer. Mention a safe and contain 4 hints regarding the combination. Listed below, you'll find each clue followed by a description. The lid of the box denotes oxygen. Behind the ivories, short of T and Ray. The creak in the floor near the chair on the second floor. These are the hints, by the way.
What the fuck?
Then to the left 5 steps, up 9 steps, left 2 steps, up 6 steps. The 4th hint is written in invisible ink on the letter itself. Position the cursor where the 4th hint should be and press O, and you'll see the last number is right 97. With the combination in hand, head for the only safe in the building, located in the far left room on the 2nd floor. Once you begin cracking the safe, you'll have 20 seconds to enter the combination.
Jesus.
Yeah.
That's the only attempt you get at it?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
It's
my
much
God.
more difficult than it seems. The dial is very touchy, and even the slightest mistake will spoil the attempt. When you succeed, you'll be thrust into a battle with the lost number, which is a boss fight.
Oh my God.
And here's what it says. Lost number. It is important to attack as quickly as possible during this battle. Equip the time all combination. The lost number is a strong beast with powerful attacks, both physical and magical. Fortunately, it's vulnerable to paralysis and stop being in the battle by summoning Chocomog or uses Aerith's Seal Evil Limit Break as soon as it becomes available. Cast haste on your entire party and hammer with your strongest attacks.
Oh my God.
We're not done, though. We're not done. With a safe open, examine it, and you'll find the basement key. Pick up the Odin materia and head for the basement. Just out, and so once you do all that, you still have to find Vincent's room, which is not part of the main plot, right?
Yeah. So you wouldn't know it's there.
Pick up the Odin materia and head for the basement. And just outside the library, you'll find Vincent's chamber. Open the door and examine the coffin in the center of the room to speak with him.
Wow. And
Yep.
you did this when you ran through it as a kid?
And no, I never did this. I never even knew about Vincent. So you have to talk to him twice, by the way, right? Open the door, examine the coffin in the center of the room and speak to him. Talk to him about Sephiroth and he'll return to the coffin. Then you have to talk to him a second time before you leave the room. Otherwise, he won't stop you and join your party.
God damn. Like, he's not even that great, cool of a character. Like, Jesus.
It's like, what the fuck?
Why do you have to do all that? And you know what's crazy? They make it seem like he's such a... Like, Vince is a pretty popular character, I would say.
Yeah. Just 'cause
So,
he's cool.
like, yeah, like, you would think, like, if you look at Seven from, like, outsider's perspective, like you would think like, oh, he's like in the game just kind of randomly. You don't know that you got to do all that bullshit.
No, it's stupid, dude.
Yeah, it's crazy because he's not playable in Rebirth.
No, that's what I heard.
Yeah, like why?
They'll
I
save it
mean,
for the third
whatever.
game.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right. Yeah, we'll get that one when I'm damn near 40. Son of a bitch.
it's like Red 13.
Yeah, I've never been a Red 13 guy.
I like him a lot more in the remake series than I do in the original game. I never use him in the original game.
Or what's the other one? The cat that's like an Irishman, or what the hell's going on there?
He's a fucking Moogle. Remember that was a mind blowing experience.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So a lot of funky shit going on in that era of Square. But yeah, Dirge of Cerberus is a turd. If they remake it, I'd be shocked. I don't think they will because I think they know. They know what's up. Just give us a little Dirge of Cerberus DLC and we're fine. We're done.
It's supposed to come to Ever Crisis. So.
Oh yeah, you didn't like Ever Crisis, did you?
No, I don't like any mobile games, dude.
Yeah. Apparently, there's somebody who's very important in Ever Crisis that pops up in Rebirth. Apparently, so that's great. That's good. It's a good job.
I'll watch
Square.
a YouTube video.
Yeah, good job, Square. So, all right, buddy. It's been a good show. Well, I mean, the only one on the misconducts right now is Nintendo. I think we voiced as to why, because that direct was a nothing burger, but I don't know. I'm not really feeling you this year, Nintendo. You didn't give me anything that like kind of rustled the jimmies, got the blood going, didn't feel stiff in the pants, and so yeah, that's you got to get us aroused over here at the Alpha Nerd Podcast. We got to get a rise out of us. So yeah, that's the only misconduct this week. I don't know. Anything else you want to say in closing, sir? It's been a good show. It's been a fun show.
That's all I got.
All right. Well, like and comment on our YouTube channel. Please subscribe if you will. We're over on Twitter at Alpha Nerds Prime. Like us on Facebook if you prefer to see us there. Check out the Frame Skip podcast where we were both on. Seth is usually on it. You guys do weekly?
Yep.
Weekly show? Yeah. Weekly show. Check them out over there on Frame Skip. Let the one gentleman know that Celtics stink, even though they're the best team in the league. But gotta give them a little. You gotta give them a little jazzing. Keep them humble. And as always, gamers, square up, throw down.